Futures holding on to slight gains to kick things off this morning, coming off back-to-back negative, widely negative sessions for stocks. We are looking at a few individual names this morning moving around here in the pre-market. Whole bunch of earnings to get through. We have energy stocks back on watch once again as well. Oil, $111, the highest level since August of 2013. You got to go back a long time to get to these levels on crude oil. So we'll talk about some of those crazy stocks that we've seen over the past couple of weeks. INDO, IMPP, to name a few, moving around on that move in oil. Banks, on the other hand, remain under pressure. Treasuries tumbling 1.7 on the 10-year. Late in the day yesterday, we got to multi-week lows on the 10-year. We're trading around the same levels this morning. So we'll have a look at some of the banks individually as well. Ford shares sharply higher. They are going to go ahead and separate their EV business from their internal combustion business. Ford getting a nice pop on that. I mentioned lots of earnings. SoFi with a decent report. AMC to talk about as well after their earnings. Going to be an exciting day. It's Wednesday, March 2nd, 2022. TraderTV.live starts now. And there's a look at how things stand at this point. You can see, yeah, positive numbers so far, off the highs ever so slightly, but we are trying to hold on to gains, which is good to see for the overall market. TSX futures here in Toronto, 0.5% to the upside. Brazil had a couple of days off. They are getting back to trading today, 8.3%. 8.3% again on top of a 9% move yesterday for crude oil. Topped out about 111, as I said early on this morning. We'll have a look at some energy stocks. And yeah, crypto's pretty flat to start off the morning. But here we go again. The wild ride continues. Good morning, guys. It is going to be an interesting one here again. As we said, that positivity that we saw late in the day yesterday seems to be holding at this point. We'll see if we get any kind of continuation on that, including in these oil markets. What a move for crude again.
It's unbelievable, and welcome everybody. You know what's going to be a good start to the day? When Rainmaker in the chat was immediately saying we need to set up that Vegas meeting. Oddly enough, at the game yesterday, Trader Pratt and I were talking about that. We're like, yeah, Vegas needs to happen. Obviously, I'm the only trader in the universe that's never been, but Trader Pratt hasn't been there either. I know. Look, man,
Trader Pratt hasn't been to a Raptors game before.
He also hadn't been to a Raptors game, and he got a good one. It shouldn't have been a good one because we should have crushed the Nets, but I'll take a 1-point win. Malachi Flynn making a crazy 3-point shot. There's a lot to get to today, and should be pretty exciting. Of course, we got oil. Look, that move is completely utter nonsense, and it's crazy. The strategic oil reserve seems even more hilariously futile now, releasing that because it doesn't matter, right? And this is, again, just on fears of sanctions. But there's so much. Like on a day where AMC reports, you've got earnings squeezes on SoFi and Nordstrom's instead, right? And then on top of that, I mean, Salesforce will probably get to that, but a lot is going to be moving. On the EV side, Rivian, which is already breaking down, not a good look for them. And then Ford, which I think is making a smart move. But at the end of the day, everyone's going to be watching oil. I've got my eyes on Oxy. It's done the pop and drop or dip and rip a couple of times the last couple of sessions here. This is completely nuts. Like people, like yesterday, we're thinking, okay, you know, NLS's saying that 120. We'll see what happens. I'm thinking maybe what, like a couple of weeks from now? No. Like we're here tomorrow, today. I don't know.
Yeah, what is it, 111.50? Yeah, I mean, welcome, guys. Yeah, oil, absolutely nuts. But we kind of knew that it was going to happen. We just didn't know how parabolic oil could possibly go. It's been in the past. We've seen moves like this, and we'll see where it leads to, you know, adjusting of numbers or things like that. But we just got through earnings season. So here's a picture last night. Thank you for all the love. 289 likes right now. And here's Pratt. Although he doesn't look super impressed here, but he was. We had great oysters. We had the lobster rolls. We had that seafood plate there.
Which he liked the scallops.
With the Cajun spices, but thanks a lot. Yeah, exactly. He liked the scallops. That's right.
You got to like scallops, right?
I mean, look, he had oysters, lobster, scallops, all for the first time.
Did he have the lobster?
Yeah, you had the roll.
Oh, he had the roll? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, I know I had 2, so I didn't
I
know if he
passed,
got.
remember?
Okay,
And then, because I was like, I got to go home and eat, and then I was like, what the hell? And then I got home and wasn't even hungry.
Yo, Brendan threw down, man.
But yeah, hit that like, guys. 300 likes. Let's see if we can get to that. We only need a few more. I'll put the link up in the chat for that. You can have a quick look. And the sticky note's also up there. It should be an absolutely... you know what? I didn't even have a scallop. Now that I
You didn't eat? Oh.
No, but I think there's only like a couple scallops on there. I think Brendan had them all, and then you and just joking. And then you and Prad had. No, Brendan. Yeah, I mean, look, we all killed it,
dude.
The little pieces of fish were nice too, but we were the only people in the place. We like opened it up, and then some families came through.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you guys were able to have a good time at the game.
There was only one. You know the one problem, of course. They were.
Oh wow, yeah, they didn't have a lot of.
They didn't have
product.
They didn't have any bourbon.
For oysters, Rockefeller.
There was no.
They didn't have any bourbon.
There was no bourbon.
Yeah, they didn't have a lot of things there yesterday, but you had a good time, eh, Brendo?
Yeah, it was a great time. That picture, notably, that was before Brad actually tried his first one. So he might have been a little nervous in that picture, I think, before we dug into that plate. But it was amazing. Yeah, great food. Let's jump. Lots to talk about here, guys. I'm just watching this MULN PaySafe as well, moving around. Unreal. 11 million shares. This is PaySafe, but 11 million shares already traded on that. Mullen Automotive back to the upside this morning. Before we get too far, let's bring in Miss V. Good morning.
Good morning, team. I wish you a wonderful, profitable day. Please make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel, and let's get it started, Brendan.
Yep, let's get it started, guys. Lots to get through, as we mentioned. A number of earnings reports to talk about, both that are on the watch list, some not. JWN, the notable one here again, 15.5% on the short side for Nordstrom. So up huge here, although volume a little bit lacking this morning for Nordstrom's in the pre-market. But there is that short angle to talk about. There was also Dollar Tree reported. There was FSLR as well, down big time. So a number of earnings reports with bigger moves this morning so far.
I know we're going to get to the squeeze one, so I kind of want to talk about First Solar. My daily chart hates me now. First Solar, it's not a good look for them, because when you complain, when the bulk of your miss is complaining and guidance as well, complaining about supply chain still being a gigantic issue. On top of that, and they're very specific about it too. It's like input costs are going higher, transportation costs are going to go up, and they're saying, like, the last few quarters, like 200 to 300% increases on freight and shipping for them. And then on top of that, they're like, and by the way, we're probably looking at those costs going up another 100% this year. And if you're a mature business that can easily pass along those kind of costs, it's one thing. But if you're in an emerging space and suddenly you have those input costs go up, it's not as if you're leaning on the ability to increase prices and be able to pass that down the chain. They're not at that point yet, and so unfortunately they got absolutely crushed on earnings. I kind of thought that maybe there'd be a little bit of a rally, and you could get to like the 68 to 69 here. I was kind of looking at this and saying to myself, okay, well, maybe if it catches a bit of a bounce, and it was looking like it was going to actually, we'd be looking at 68, 69. I still am, but this feels like it should be a fade today. Yeah, just not a great look for First Solar, and we've sort of been talking about this. If it's doom and gloom for you still when it comes to supply chain and inflation, you're going to get hammered on earnings, especially if you guide poorly, because the market's going to want to see that that you're turning the corner at some point. And you're not getting it with First Solar.
Sir, I'm just writing what's up to Mike. I was writing him a message there. Thanks, Mike, for everything there. Check your DM. Yeah, look, I have a bunch of names. Well, I only have 4 names on the watch today, but there's just so much. That JWN move is pretty enticing, all the way up there, up to what, 20-something% or a little bit more than that. JWN, but I like Rivian on the short side as well. I think Rivian today comes out that they're increasing prices. What was that, 20%? Is that the number there? That's an unbelievable move. I don't like that at all for them. I mean, in this environment, you're raising prices. I don't know if that's going to work, especially when you really haven't done anything yet to prove yourself. Elon Musk coming out with some comments on that play as well. So, I mean, I'm not, super bullish on Rivian, and I'm actually waiting to get short to break through 60. If that happens soon, I will test that in the pre-market, a breakdown of 60 bucks here on Rivian. Maybe we see 57, 58 today. So that First Solar looks nice. Plug looks nice. Just talking about trading wise, Ford, SoFi, AMC with the puzzling move of the day for me, with AMC not even really moving. And I don't want to go over our whole watch list here, which seems like I'm doing, but there's going to be a lot of names on the move today, and I think that's the most important thing to understand, is that, hey, we're getting through earnings season now, and when some companies report, they have to be on your watch list, like an AMC, like SoFi. AMC today just flat after beating, which is a little bit of a surprise to me. So we'll see where it goes. Yesterday we touched it up at 19. We'll see if we can hold 18 today, but AMC should be fun.
Yeah, no reaction whatsoever, it would appear anyway, so far for AMC after a decent report, as Sean was saying there. On that oil note as well, it's worth mentioning, guys, the Tuesday is supposed to be a huge drawdown, like 6 million barrels expected on the draw side. So we'll have a look at oil around 10:30 to see if that number comes out as expected. But with this move that we've had over the past couple of weeks, that inventories number could be interesting. XOM, I just brought up here, 1.4% still, back above 80 bucks, which was a bit of a resistance point going back to last week and the week before. But all these oil stocks looking really good so far.
It's just super strong. I mean, we also have OPEC meeting today, although, I don't know, they're set on their regular course of action. So I don't think anything crazy is going to change here. But Occidental, man, what an unreal move the last couple of days. It's essentially given the same pattern. Maybe we'll be fortunate enough to see the same thing here today, where it just dips into the open right at 9:30 and then rocket ship. It was a little more extreme yesterday, and you only got $3. I say only $3 because the day before it was a $6 move. I'm kind of thinking the same thing on the way to 50 here. You have to watch spot prices in this case. So, when you're looking for the dip, maybe to that pre-market low, 47 to 47.5 is kind of where I think support comes in. But when the volatility is so big, you can't really even treat this like a $48 name. It's going to move like it's a $100 name or $150. It's going to be dollars at a time. Spread is going to open up. And then you're going to have to watch the oil futures contracts, right? So I got that on my watch list as well, because the last thing you want to do is sort of be picking a level and you're screaming through a break or screaming through a consolidation breakdown on spot oil prices, and you're buying thinking that Oxy is going to halt when the level's been broken. You think it's going to stall out. So keep that in mind, and remember 10:30, when the inventories come out. I'm not saying you have to be flat, but you got to be aware that you get some volume spikes at that particular time as well. So when navigating the morning, there is that sort of not line in the sand, but if you're making an opening rush trade, a lot of times you want to have a plan of action ahead. Are you taking it out before 10:30? Are you holding through? Are you putting a trailing stop? Just you gotta do something. You know what you're going to do so that you're not freaking out when volume spike happens at 10:30.
Yeah, look, I never trade oil stocks as much as we should, obviously, on the show. And that's just something that I'm just so focused on what's been, I was going to say what's been hot, but oil's been super hot. It's just one of those things where it just keeps on going. And I can't find my way into any of these names because it's up so much. Oil now up another 8% today, like what Neil was just talking about. 112.50 about to get taken out. It's just so sensitive on all the news. And it's just kind of you're going to trade XOM, you're going to trade Oxy, you're going to trade CVX, and they're great. I just choose to hold the XLE and wait to see what happens with that move. But, crude oil just straight to the upside. I'm not seeing any reason for this thing to stop. The more talk here about the Russian oil supply and things like that just keeps this name going upside, and inflation's obviously still a concern, and now we're going to be seeing this at the pump. I don't even want to know what our prices are going to be. I saw it at 153 a liter, and I should have got it last night, and I didn't, and I don't know what it's going to be today, but a nice move up here for oil. I'm just going to say stay long. It's just I don't have any names to put on the watch list for you. Just stay long oil. I'm not getting out of anything for me oil related, and I'm just going to stay in. Like I said, it was about 3 or 4 weeks ago we got into the oil and gas ETF, and we're just going to stay there. So that's my play, and I'm not doing anything except for collecting the dividends and watching this thing capital appreciate all the way up. So hey, let's just keep on riding oil, and I'm definitely not selling it anytime soon.
A few more comments coming out from Ford's CEO right now, guys, on this move to separate the EV and ICE business. He's basically saying they're not going to create separate brands, so both divisions will remain under the Ford label. They can't do both at the same time effectively. So we'll keep an eye on Ford. Just be aware that that is still moving around. Wanted to mention PaySafe, because PaySafe, with a surprise net revenue at the end of their report, up 8% here. I mean, it's a $3 stock, so 8% not a huge move, but good to see PaySafe. There's also, I saw a couple people mentioning Abercrombie ANF to the downside this morning off disappointing report, but nice to see PaySafe finally getting a bounce.
I was just going to look at
Abercrombie
PaySafe.
reported?
We didn't even realize Abercrombie reported. We were looking at JWN. But yeah, what the hell, PaySafe? When I saw the note today, and I was literally, we just got into something Rivian short right now.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, we just got that. We'll take a piece out at 84 if we can get it. We'll sit here on the bid and see if we can get Rivian short. But new position alert. So we'll do the Valeria Hero thing here and just see where we can go with this one. We are now short Rivian right here, taking down 60. That is on the sticky note, the 60 print. So what do we have? We have 92s.
You should look at my film.
I crossed out. What did you get? 96s? That's a good print.
No, but look at that. I got partial.
Oh, you got partial
I didn't get any shares. I got a better price, but I didn't get any shares.
Okay, so anyways, we're at it. Whatever. I'm going to let this one go here and just see what happens. So, okay, PaySafe. Yeah, what surprised me the most, Brendan, was when I saw this first line. The company reported a surprise, I was going to say a surge, a surprise profit in Q4. Surprise profit for PaySafe? Okay, no idea that. Last year they lost $3.4 million. This year they make $90 million. Revenue $371, up from $370. Estimates only $357. Like, you think that I'm hyping this thing up? Company's forecasted range of $1.53 billion. What? Versus to $1.58 billion, in line with estimates, right? Above actually estimates. So their estimates was 154. They got 153 to 158. So look, I'm super impressed with PaySafe. I can't believe that they're up here. And I actually went to sleep on this name because I am so dead in the water on this thing. It's ridiculous. Like, I think my average price is, honestly, and I'll double check it, I think it's 7. Like, it's in and around here, 7. We bought some when it completely tanked, but we've been averaging into PaySafe ever since this was a Bill, what was it, BFT or something like that? The Bill Foley SPAC.
Bill Foley Transamine.
Yeah, Bill Foley Transamine SPAC. You can SPAC yourself over your head with this one, as PaySafe has just been a nasty move to the downside. I'm still not. I'm going to leave this one alone, but it is 730,000 shares, so maybe it shouldn't be ignored. On a 1-minute chart, we always like to defend $3, but again, this is such a surprise move here for PaySafe that I don't really know where it's going to go. So we'll wait to see. It's up 8% right now. If they really like it, then maybe we'll take this through 330. That's a spot for me. Congratulations, anybody that went long PaySafe into this report. It was just so nasty, the report before. Maybe this is the time for them to get going to the upside. I just want to check. Okay, no short flow whatsoever here, only 3%. So that's not going to be part of it for them. But yeah, PaySafe, a big surprise. There's just so many names to go over. I mean, you mentioned even Nordstrom's there, and ANF, Abercrombie, another one. There's so much to look at today. Like, I could have had PaySafe on the sticky note. I chose.
It's almost impossible.
Yeah, and you even led with Ford, and we didn't even get to that. So
actually, there's levels I like on Ford, but Abercrombie, it actually has a short interest. It's 12%. I just can't see that there will be a better trading opportunity in them versus Nordstrom's. Nordstrom's bigger short float, bigger move, more volatility, more eyeballs on it, way more volume in the pre-market. Just all of those things line up for Nordstrom's, but Abercrombie & Fitch, likely a lot of the same things. The only thing that might make me, if it goes parabolic, short PaySafe, is that there isn't, like, it doesn't have the short interest. Otherwise, the surprise earnings beat. I don't know if you want to fight that one. Just quickly, because Rivian happened, right? So the breakdown happened. This morning I'm kicking myself because I had a stop and was like, yeah, don't put a stop in that early in the day. You haven't had your coffee yet. I already had 1 keystroke SoFi. I sat down and made a keystroke error before I had a coffee in SoFi. And I was like, let me just punch out of this. I'm going to need some extra coffee today. It was a fun game last night. But this was the 60-70 level breaking. And I don't know why I'm not short at like 60s or something, 60-60 when it took this level down. But there's so much room on that breakdown in Rivian, I think. And it's not the right day. It's not the right day coming off of the volatility that we're having to be raising prices especially when you have Ford making a move like they did, and some value there because Ford got beaten up yesterday, and people probably looking to buy that dip as well. So there's definitely room to this 58, maybe even a little bit further down to 57, but that's the channel I think it heads down into. That V-shaped bottom, it gap back up, and 57 to 58 is the channel. I think we're headed there. I'm going to short it on the way back to that 60-70 price, and we'll see if we can't hang on to it. But Rivian, you're going to be under trouble here. PaySafe will be on the radar, but it's not on the list of like the top level things to watch.
Crazy expensive to begin with, so 20% more you'll be paying for an R1T going forward. I wanted to mention some of the big boys here. Apple, Microsoft, all positive so far this morning, in line with kind of what the market's doing. Maybe a little bit less here for Apple. Microsoft looking very similar. A few people, kind of wondering about these because the past couple of days, guys, mega cap tech kind of gone to sleep here, but still going to be worth a watch if we start to get a market move.
Well, what stocks? Oh, Apple, Microsoft.
Apple.
Yeah, I haven't even really looked at too many of those yet. Any thoughts on those? I'll take Microsoft.
I mean, just looking back at Apple, I usually get interested when Apple and these names are leading the market a bit. And right now we're sort of in line. Like I want them, and why I want them to lead the way is I think we usually have like some pretty strong follow through and strong moves when you get the big boys sort of pulling the train as opposed to just being tugged along with the ride. So that doesn't have me as excited about the update that we're having currently. And yeah, we are. I mean, the ES is barely up 0.2, the NASDAQ is barely up. I'd be more excited if you had one of these leading. But if you're just simply looking at the levels, it's pretty clear the channel, and I know the futures are in a range as well, but it's pretty clear the channel Apple's in, and this 162 has been your support level. I mean, whether you want to say that that's corresponding with the fact that we just keep bouncing on the E-minis at 4,300 off that level, and NASDAQ off of that the NQ off of that 14,000 level, but your equivalent on Apple has been that 62. So if you were able to test something like this, and the markets are already bouncing off those floors, great. Like that's a great level to be buying, but they're basically one-to-one following, which makes them a little bit less exciting here. And watch out, the oil's starting to come back in here a little bit. Oxy's approaching that 47, 47, 50 range. I was kind of hoping for these fills at the open. I want that pop and rip at 9:30. I don't want to get filled until we're much closer. Probably the last 5 minutes would be the target.
Okay, so I'm just going to put an order in at 292.50 again here. First of all, Rivian, I don't have any outs until until 59 flat. So we'll wait. I'm actually bidding 59.20 on Rivian. Okay, look, this is a 1 minute chart. Oh, this is for you, T Trades again. Thanks for the tweet. Just saw that she liked the Superman there. So T's Trades, thank you so much for that one. There it is again. I think this 292 level holds again for Microsoft. We've dipped down there a little bit in the last a couple days, and it's held every time. It's held at 292, but I think 292.50 is pretty strong. I know it's $3 away, but that doesn't mean you can't get it. So, try to be as patient as we can with Mr. Softy. I think this is the best one in the bunch here if you're looking at big cap tech as far as trading is concerned. And I don't know if it's the best one. It's just the one that I've been on the most. And, we like to look at that. So that's key. Trade the names that you're familiar with. If you don't really see anything developing, you obviously do have, okay, Rivian, I see you. Rivian now 40 cents in the money and going lower. But Facebook right now, again, that's another name that you know what? The more and more I think of Facebook, honestly, the more I don't like it. I feel like they're not going to be able to buy anything. They're never going to be able to expand their business. Like think about Facebook for a second here. They tried, first of all, wow, okay, Rivian. Rivian now 50 cents in the money. Check the sticky note. Hope you guys got the sticky note because that is flowing out right now, and I hope Brandon and Luca and Baxter and all you guys have that short as well. But right here, guys, Facebook, look, what I was going to say is everybody and their mother can make a coin, okay? It seems like how many coins get produced? Like pretty much, what, 295.50 on Microsoft just filled for me? Okay, that's bad. I don't know why that hit. I must put the wrong price. But everybody and their brother, I should say, can make a coin right now. But you know who can't? Facebook, right? They're the ones that comes out and they get hammered by the FTC or whoever it was that limited, not the FTC, but whoever it was that limited them and said, no, they can't have a coin. Like, what is Facebook? And first of all, I'm on Microsoft right here because I just got filled for some reason. Facebook has just a target on their back is what I'm getting at. And I know they bought Instagram for basically like $1. Like it seems so cheap now what they paid for Instagram. But I just don't see how this business is going to expand. They keep getting hit by the DOJ, by all these different places. And it's just like they can't even make a coin. I don't even know what's going to happen with Facebook here. There's so many issues, privacy. I mean, we all know what the story is. So I'm very nervous about Facebook's future. But I don't know, man. Maybe we defend 200 today. That's what I was getting at in the long run. But I can't really push longs anymore on Facebook. I need to see some upgrades or a change in something before I get super excited about them.
Okay, let's jump into upgrades and downgrades, guys. Big names on the board once again. It's worth noting with earnings, typically with earnings names, there's moves both directions on the price target from a number of analysts this morning. CVX, top of the list here, huge move yesterday. Nordstrom's, Kohl's, Baidu reported as well, if you remember. Target, SoFi, Salesforce, and Zoom, all to the downside today.
All right.
I mean, Salesforce actually had a good quarter, and I know we'll eventually get to them.
SoFi too downgraded.
Downgrade for SoFi. So you have two names that actually had good quarters that get downgraded. At least in the case of CRM here, that's got to be still because they're like 54 people. Maybe that's going to be adjusted today because they beat, but it's still relatively expensive, right? Even if that comes down to like 45 or something, it's still a somewhat expensive name. I get that. So maybe that's going to be the reason why they're saying it doesn't really matter. The growth, the 20% on revenue, even if the margins are good, that's not going to be enough growth to justify the PE in this year. So it might need to come back down. I can sort of understand that. I feel like the quarter they had, if that wasn't the sentiment, they'd probably be up more than 4% as well. But a little bit surprising to see both those two names. Like the timing of that is a little bit odd. As SoFi definitely had that nice move. Some of that, of course, is the short interest. So understand that with SoFi. The reason it's up a little bit more, and that's the same thing with Nordstrom's, right? They get a good quarter, but come on, Nordstrom's 27, 30%. That's because of the short interest, a good portion of it.
So here we go. We don't have Nordstrom's or anything on the sticky note today, but welcome, guys. But what we do have right here is Rivian increasing prices. Huge mistake for the optics. Musk comments also hurting this play. You could see here, we don't know what's going on with AMC, but Rivian, man, it doesn't seem like the right environment for that. So then we just tweet that out. So we'll put our sticky note on there. Please follow, guys, because this is, I don't normally take trades in the pre-market, but I did take an average position size for this one. Just didn't like it at all going to the downside. And then you could see right here, we just tweeted out as well the chart. So we just got out at 50. I told you what we were bidding. I mean, I don't know. Again, I don't watch other shows because, hi, I'm hosting this one. But I mean, do other shows give you these exact prices where they're going in and out and showing you the trades and doing that? But anyways, there's 59.21 out right there, and I hope some of you guys took that. I don't know how far Rivian's going to fall down today, but we'll hold the short until 62.50. I have layered orders up in here in case we do rip, but I don't think we're going to rip anymore today on this play. This brings me back to Ford. We sort of led with Ford and didn't do anything about it. Look, they're splitting their business now to go combustion versus EV. I don't know if that's the right move or not. I don't really even know really why they're doing it. I guess just to separate the different business lines and to, I guess they'll report maybe two different functions here. Just like what Meta was doing where they Facebook was like, hey, we have a Meta division. Oh yeah, and by the way, that thing is like down $10 billion, like literally. So hopefully Ford doesn't really show huge losses in the EV side. They will for now, but once it gets rocking and rolling, man, that should explode with the F-150, with the Mustang, and we'll see where they go from there. I mean, it's really just all about the F-150 and electrifying that. But long story short, I'm bidding right now 17, and then I just think it's 17.05 to be exact, and then scrolling back out to a 20-minute chart. There's 17, there's the dip, but I don't want to forget that we can make moves back below $17. I mean, if this market falls apart a little bit here, I wouldn't be surprised if this can retest 1660, 1650, something like that. So it is a small trade coming through at, well, not a small one, but decent size coming through at 17. And then just in case we fall back down, we got to respect the 1650 level, which again is what we wrote here on the sticky note. So Ford 1650, love it down there. If we can get down there, then your boy will put something big on. But other than that, man, we'll wait for Ford to come into 17 right here, fill us up, and then just move on. So Ford in a nice spot on a daily chart. We're well below the 200 period. I think there's room for this thing to run. So we'll see what happens with Ford today. you know, this was an expected move. It's up 3.4%. Let's check if there's anything on the imbalance locator quickly on this. I said to Neil, what the heck is GLOP? And I looked it up, and it's some gas play. So we'll see. I don't know. Every day it seems to be on there for a sell. But there's Ford. It's a nice little buy, 584,000 shares. And, of course, RIG has a sell. So they're selling some oil names here. CCL a buy. Oxy, Neil talked about that already. That's also a buy. And there's Palantir. Well, we're not, just like Bruno, we're not talking about Palantir, because every time they have a new play, now they're in the water business. Like, I think that's fantastic. Like, I think all these contracts are absolutely fantastic, but every single time they get one, the stock gets Tank City. I like Palo Alto, I like CrowdStrike, I like Palantir, but hey, it's got to move off this 12 bucks at some point.
It does. Look, I think Ford's doing the absolute right thing. So sometimes it's just your business gets differentiated enough that it makes sense to have separate leadership, not just separate reporting and separate accounting, but a different direction, right? Like, you've got a legacy business and you have a pivot to the future. So why have the same teams in place trying to do both things? Separate it, streamline it, have two different focuses. One's making money and generating the profits, doing what you do best, and you already know what works. And the other one is taking a whole new pivot and trying to grow that new segment. So it might seem like it's just semantics, but I kind of hope, and you know, I kind of hope it's going to be a good leg up for them. The timing of it, I think, is absolutely perfect, the launch, because you just put in that V-shaped bottom. You're going to reestablish the support level that was there before at about 1680 to 17 even, where it jumped off the following day after you had that capitulation day. And then you go to the bottom. It sold off into that range, and then you had a bounce, and we're essentially, the high from the afternoon yesterday is now your previous support. That it doesn't get any more gorgeous than that. We talked about that setup last week or yesterday, maybe even a couple of days ago as well. And I'm going right back over to it. And you got to wait for that range. I think you got to give it to the 1675. So, you know, I wish I was bidding a little bit earlier, but yeah, I didn't cancel this one. I mean, it was about the same time for this order, and when I made the keystroke error in SoFi because I hadn't had a coffee yet. But yeah, this one I kind of wish I had just punched long, because when retail came in, I guess they thought the exact same thing and bought it up at 17.
Yeah, Ford top of the list on the watch list, guys. We'll talk about it a little bit more as well. Coming up, still 30 minutes to go. As you saw, we have Arun back with us again this morning. Good to have Arun's take here on where this market is, what we could do. It was, you know, kind of back and forth a little bit yesterday, Arun. You know, we're still in this range, but trying to hold on to positivity here. What do we need to know today?
Well, one thing to definitely keep an eye on is oil. Crude is, we saw a big move yesterday, and just now we were north of 8%. Now we're down, we're up 6.75. So crude is definitely moving around. So you're going to have oil names, gas names in play today. So that's top priority for in terms of stocks that you want action on. Now, in terms of general market conditions, it does look like the market's going sideways. Like you mentioned, it is a range. It's in an area which is very tricky to trade, because we're sitting at 43.18 right now. My levels don't start until 43.70. We saw that yesterday. Market popped into the 70s and then fell right off. That's still the same area. 43.70 into 44.10 is what I'm looking at for potential shorts. On the long side, it's a complete mess, because I have nothing in terms of solid support until 41.95, so just underneath 4,200. So we have about 100 points, over 100 points to go before I can find any viable support zones to work with. And that also means that I can't really step into any longs until we get at least under 42.40. So as you can see, we're kind of in the middle of nowhere based on the way I'm looking at the chart and the levels that I want to play. Of course, intraday wise, if you're looking for quick scalps, there are options there, options in terms of potential trades that you can make. But for me, in terms of major levels that I would like to participate in, like I mentioned, 44.10 up top and 41.95 down below. And here we are trading at 43.20. So we're going to have to wait it's going to be day 2 of March. And I guess we're back to patience, right? Yesterday was great, but today we're going to have to wait for this market to set up, or at the very least, develop some levels throughout the day. It doesn't look like it wants to go a whole lot. We tried overnight into that 42.80. We bounced right back up. So clearly there's going to be some support down there. Not strong enough to draw off a level, but for the time being, we're going to keep an eye on that level as a potential bounce point. And of course, up top, I mean, there's multiple locations where this market can fall off here a little bit. So I'm just going to wait for that 43.70 area before I start looking for shorts once again.
Great stuff. Thanks, Arun. We'll check back in again tomorrow morning. Again, 10:30, guys. The crude oil inventories number this morning coming up. It's supposed to be a huge drawdown, so we'll have a look at crude oil around 10:30 this morning. For now, let's get into this. The watch list, guys. We send it out every single morning for you, absolutely free. Make sure you grab that. All you need is an email address. Miss V will help you out in the chat. If you want that link, we just went over Ford in depth there. I mean, if you missed it, they are going to go ahead and separate their EV business from their ICE business, internal combustion engine business. That's basically the news. So positive for Ford at this point this morning. Let's just jump right down to SoFi, because an interesting report for SoFi as well. Definitely better than expected right across the board.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's not PaySafe surprise. Like, imagine if SoFi had a surprise profit like PaySafe did, you would be already breaking out of the level we're going to talk about here. But look, ultimately they're going to end up beating, and the growth was good, I suppose. It wasn't necessarily ridiculous, but keep in mind the context. Like, the fintech has been beaten up pretty badly. We've also made a rally of like 30-something% off the bottom already the last couple of sessions. So you are basically screaming into this report as it stands, but it was still a small beat there, and that's going to get it that extra little bit of a hump. In the daily chart, you got like 1360, which has been a roof for a while now. I don't know if I can pull back. Yeah, in the 15, you can kind of see. It looks a little better on the daily, but in the 15, you can kind of see it's having some trouble getting past there, and you got to pull back to see the 60s a little further a couple of weeks ago. I think it could have some trouble getting through that chop. I think it's pretty clear sailing for a squeeze. If it gets through 1360, I think you've got room to like those teens. You also have the 50 period in play as well. If there is a dip, going all the way back, and why I wanted to pull it back is if you look at like back here 1150, 1160, and then that recent top like $12, and look what happened when we dropped through that level. You then had 12 at the top there in yesterday's trade. So that's the channel on a deep pullback that I'm looking for on SoFi. If it really starts to get out of hand, I think buying in that zone, sort of in front of yesterday's floor, would make some sense. I just think it's just a real chop fest from 13 to 1360, but it's a pretty clean breakout from there if it can get there on SoFi, which makes me favor buying the dips, right? Like, anytime I see overhead resistance on a breakout, even if I like the name, I'm going to want to buy the dip just because of that overhead resistance on the breakout.
It's fruit salad time. I just got a nice little fruit salad here, and we got some nice grapes. I mean, the grapes are really high quality in here. And then I went and got a coffee with Brandon there, and I said, "Oh, I'm a grape guy," you know, and he's like, "Oh,"
why?
I said, "What kind of fruit are you?" and everything, right? And he goes, "Oh, I'm an apple guy." And I said, "Oh, that's strange." And I said, "Well, I'm more of an Android guy."
Nice.
Yeah,
it's true.
So. Da-dun-dung. There it is.
We should have that button.
Man, that's lame.
That's a low. We should have a button that just goes. Why not?
Yeah, I thought we did have something like that, but yeah, he's an Apple guy. I'm an Android and grape guy. Okay, so SoFi yesterday. Oh, what I was going to get at too before that lame joke I had to say was right here. 11:30. We traded SoFi like a maniac yesterday. A profitable name, so no problems at all with that. Try the carnivore diet. Yeah, maybe I should try that. We talked about that last night. I mean,
that's weird,
crickets. Man. Yeah, that's a good one, actually, good one. But I'm here all day, guys. Yeah, we talked about that with Joe Rogan, right?
Yeah.
The carnivore diet. But no, trust me, I'm not. Probably should be on a diet, but I'm just having this because I love these grapes and fruit, and to stay hydrated. Didn't eat anything this morning. I never do. We do. I eat once we shouldn't have an apple or a grape in my mouth while I'm doing this. But SoFi yesterday was an absolute great trade. All the way to the downside. We were long 11:30, 11:20. I'm gonna finish this.
You know they're good grapes when, man.
Man, damn, those grapes.
Like, I can't wait 2 minutes.
No,
I gotta have it right now.
I'm about to go get more. Okay, so let's do SoFi one more time and not do a grape thing again. Okay, so look, I feel like yesterday we were down here 11:30, 11:40. Obviously with an EPS beat and a net beat here, it's a good move for SoFi. We're gonna stay long this name today. We're not long right now, but we're gonna get long. I feel like this bottom of 1250 is something to be looked at right into here. So I think 1250 is something to go on, and then 12. I mean, I don't see a reason why we break lower here on SoFi. The market is positive today. There's really no need for this to come to the downside. We know there's a lot of traders that were possibly long. That's the only theory that I have, is the fact that there's a lot of traders long here today from the past days, and they're coming in with a long account, and they may sell the open because, look, we are just up here again, and this is probably what Neil's talked about. I don't know, I missed it. But 1320 here there's a lot of resistance up here near 1320. So we could, once we get through that, then it's clear sailing, but that's 1330. And then right down in here is the 12 area. So I think that we can defend that. And then worst case scenario, 1150. But again, I don't think we get down there. So let's try to stay long SoFi as much as we can today. Current bid 1260 right now. So if we get a dip buy off the open, we'll take it. 1260 is where we're bidding right now. And then honestly, it won't be a full position. So if it rips from there, hey, we'll take the money. But I'm looking to load it up if we get down near 12. My next bid is 1211. It's Miss V. What's up?
Hey guys, welcome everyone who just joined us. I remind you to like this video if you like grapes, as Sean does. If you like this community, this show, and trading overall, please smash that like button. And now let's continue with Brandon.
Most importantly, though, if you like grapes, that's the most important one. Let's move along. JWN, Nordstrom. Interesting look here this morning, coming off in a hurry. I mean, it was up better part of 30+% at one point, up here 26 early on. But we're back to the downside in a hurry here for JWN. Again, the biggest note on this report is the 15.5% short interest, but better than expected for Nordstrom.
Hey, what's up, Henry? What's up, everybody over there for the People's Trader comments? Very, very kind of you, and thank you. You know, it can't be a robot here. Like, we got to have some fun, and that's what we are doing here today. As Rivian just came back to $60. Okay, Nordstrom's. I mean, again, I didn't focus too much on them because there were some more names here that we did like, but apparently, you know, high demand clothing, obviously, as people are being forced back. I don't know what the right word is, but I know here in Ontario, I believe government workers are going to have to do 3 days a week in the office is what they're looking for from a minimum. So I feel like, you know, as people want to get back to work. I mean, it's not, some people like working at home, some don't. So it's just up to you. And I just feel like that makes a lot of sense, what they said, that there's a lot of higher end clothing, apparel being bought now because people are going back to work. And we do know that it doesn't feel like this in the economy, though. But I think Bank of America said that there's more money now per average in their clients' accounts than there was pre-pandemic. So like I said, it doesn't feel like that. But I know that's true for a lot of people. They have a lot of expenditures that they haven't made, including upgrading of their clothes, you know. And I think that Nordstrom's makes a lot of sense on the higher end of things. But they are pulling back in right now. We did get as high as 27%, $27. We're up 27% right now. You know, I feel like I was going to put on the sticky note $22 here as a level of support right in here. That's where the 50 period is. So I was thinking, like, to get back into here seems nice. It's a nice beat. It's a nice move. And it's a nice guide forward. So is it worth 25%? I don't know. I mean, you've seen sort of the moves that this stock can have. It can give this all back. For me, I think I'm going to start looking at this thing near 23, and we're almost there, to be honest with you. So Nordstrom's pulling back into 23 or change here. Seems to be a reasonable level for them. They obviously got knocked down, then a couple nice up days, then crushed yesterday, and then a nice move here today. So for me, it has to come down a little bit. Hopefully we can target that 23 area, just like we did on T-Doc, the day that was ripping up. So we'll see if we can get a good price in here. I'm almost thinking 22 rather than 23, but we'll see what happens with JWN. It has to be on your radar if you're trading retail.
Well, that's the thing. Like, the actual bounces in the stock were closer to that 22 area, but I almost feel like I don't want to wait that long. Shorts have to readjust. You get a beat like that on the metrics, and you can be betting against this thing as brick and mortar for as heavily as you want. But I mean, their online was like 44%, so they are making some successful changes. But yeah, when you get an EPS beat and it's already single digits or close to single digits PE, going forward, you have to reprice what you think the value of the company is. In the shorts, that's why it happened. But that's all pre-market action that we're seeing so far. So, you know, the big shares still have to, if they're going to, make some covers when the market opens up, in my estimation. So I wasn't looking for rollover unless you're getting it off of those highs. That's not happening. So I'm looking back above 23 first. I understand the support looks way back here where we close in front of 20, but I don't know if you can wait that long. I just think at the open, there should be some buying that comes into this and is going to have to buy on this readjustment, because when you get a beat like this, it catches people off guard. And if they've been shorting for quite some time, well, then maybe they want to take some profit. And when you zoom out, you can understand why they might want to take profit, because the further you go back, chart just keeps on going higher and higher. This is a stock that not too long ago, and actually just going back to November, was up at like 35 bucks and got cut in half. You know, now you're digging into that. Upward resistance, watch out for that 200 period. It's cracked and faded a few times. So if it goes parabolic, I think that could be a range where you might consider reversing, I suppose.
Go on to AMC, a bit of a surprise in the sense that not much to see here so far. They did point to a pretty good quarter, guys, and pointed out and singled out individual movies, higher demand, people returning to the theater, but not much to see here as far as price action so far for AMC.
I mean, how's AMC? I don't understand it. And my chart's not loading, so maybe if you don't mind, Neil, take it for the.
You want the daily?
No, it doesn't matter.
Okay,
I'll
come. It's just look, it's a bit disappointing here because it's not. It really wasn't a bad quarter. Like, you can't really look at it that poorly. I mean, it was a narrower loss than expected. That's pretty much what SoFi did, right? Like, this case, not significantly, but 11 cents versus 26. That's not bad. Revenue was actually pretty solid, above expectations. So they're going to end up beating. It's just, it almost feels like exhaustion here. And sometimes, like, remember, it's another one of these names it just bounced in the last few days like $5-6 here and gave you 25 to 30%. And that's the context going in earnings. So when it doesn't blow it away, I suppose some of that buying's done. At least there is this 1780. I know I tried playing off this in the afternoon. It didn't work that long. If you hold in the aftermarket, of course, it always does. But 1775, around $18. It's been good support for some bounces. And I think that's the initial play here, that anybody that likes this might decide to support that same price area off of the open. But if it goes, I think you're waiting all the way to like 16.5, unfortunately. So that's a wide gap. I feel there's better shorts out there than trying to pick on AMC when overall it was a pretty solid report. It wasn't great. It's not about the fundamentals a lot of times anyways, but you break that support level, I do think you're making a check down into 1650, but it hasn't happened. I mean, it tested a couple times in the afternoon yesterday, and it was down there in the pre-market, but it's managed to hold that line at least for now. We'll see if it can do it again. I finally got the rest of that fill on Rivian because I only got a portion on the breakdown. So I'm glad in some ways that it came back to 60, but it's catching a bit of a bid.
No, you should be very glad. This thing's going to tank, so good trade there. More grapes. Okay, so look, I wrote down on the sticky note, and hopefully you guys, I'll put it in the chat again here, the sticky note or VCAN, or you could just do exclamation mark Sean, I think. I don't know. Brad knows all about this. You can find that. But look, I wrote down that, why not, let's look at an 18 long. But the problem is 18 long is already here. Like, I wrote that down on the sticky note when we were thinking about it here, all the way up here today when we first were writing this thing. It was 1870, looking to break through 19 and whatnot. But so for me, AMC is just a puzzling stock. I mean, 90% of the float apparently is held, and I don't think it's apparently, I think it's true, by retail, and I don't think that they're selling it. But there was like no talk, I guess, about naked short sales. So that's something that I feel like they're worried about that. Adam Aaron, I guess, didn't want to say anything because he was scared of some legal ramifications. Again, like I said, I don't.
He's got to stay out of that stuff.
He does, but I don't, I was expecting to see some upgrades or downgrades today on AMC, especially upgrades off that report, but it doesn't seem like that's happening. So maybe we'll have to wait for 17. I feel like this is one that we're going to have to watch. Like, I'm not confident in any one way now for AMC. I thought it was going to be a long today. And look, that 1750 is pretty glaring. I am going to put a bid. Let's put it in right now. I'm going to put a bid right here, like 1760, 17 something, just to see. because that 1750 is pretty interesting to me. We'll see if 17 holds, okay? So we'll start it at 1750. We'll see if 17 holds. If it doesn't, we're going to get out of the way ASAP and then reevaluate. So let's start the buying here at 1750. I would say start it at 18. It's just there's still 12 minutes to go. This could take out 18 in a heartbeat, and then we're down to that next level, which is 1750. I don't even see, like, where, just fast forward or rewind, I should say, a year ago, like, you know, these imbalances for stocks like AMC, especially off earnings, would be in the millions of shares. And today, we're not even talking about GameStop. We rarely talk about AMC. And then on earnings, only 470,000 shares with Spider-Man was a monster movie for them. So I don't know. It's not even on the imbalance locator is what I'm trying to get at. So look, this is just as big as a mystery to me as it is to you guys. So let's just hope that volume comes into AMC and gives us a clean look somewhere. So I'm going to wait for 1750, and until then, I'm doing nothing. So that's my play on AMC, 1750 with an ultimate bottom near this 17. If we break that, maybe we test a hell of a lot lower. I don't have a feel for it. I thought that if we were still up here near 19, then I liked the 19 break. But for right now, let's just hold on to a flat position and wait to see what price AMC gives us.
Let's continue along here, guys. We'll go back to Rivian, now down 3%. After this note this morning, they came out and said unprecedented supply chain supply shortages has a 20% increase in price coming for anyone looking to buy the R1T. So as we said, they were already very, very expensive, so expect a 20% increase if you're going to buy one. It's
the why, it's the competition, and all of that factors into why that's not going to be great. Look, costs are going up for everybody, but not and people have to pass that on. I think everybody can understand that, but in this case, it was already expensive. And when everything that you have is reservations, and people look at that price tag going up and might be able to find a better value either by not going electric for now or by simply picking another option, yeah, that's going to be part of the problem. And they were breaking the support level at 60, 70 the last couple of sessions here. And we already talked about that gap fill and just had the lines in the chart here to see like 58 to 59, like this little range, and then of course 57 to 58. Those are the two target areas on Rivian as it starts to head to the downside. We had to pay for locates because we always do, but they're relatively cheap. Just not good timing for that, right? Like if you supply chains and an unproven ability to pass on the cost to your consumer, higher cost to your consumers are looming over you, you're going to be in trouble, and that's the case here.
Yeah, I mean, we both feel the same way about that. I mean, I'm going to be short up till 62.50 on Rivian. I just don't see anything happening here. We've already taken a big bid out at 59.20. Like that was my tick there. We have the low of the day. It's unbelievable. We just sat there and got it. And as we were getting it, we were like, okay, there it is. And then now I don't have any more bids at all on this name. Maybe we should put one though. Let's put one like at 58.50. Just to see. We'll try one at 58.50. I don't know where the support's going to be on Rivian. You can look at a 20-minute chart just to see where we've been before. This is 58.50 right here, so maybe we stop there for a minute, but I don't think so. I'm going to be shorting up to the 62.50 level, and if we're wrong at some point for Rivian, then we're wrong, but we're already down 4%. The market's up, and Rivian is down, probably the biggest down move besides an earnings name today in the space that just is not hot right now, and that's the EV space. So Rivian getting hit today. We saw Lucid yesterday. Lucid was my #1 trade. My #1 net stock yesterday was Lucid, and you could see what happened to them in the morning. I don't know if my trades are still going to be on here or not, but we had, so we had a big, that's from the day before. We had a big dip down here on the open to go to 23.40. We were short. Then it completely reversed itself before doing nothing pretty much all afternoon and barcoding and a nice move to the upside. So I'm thinking Rivian does the same thing, gets hit here off the open, and hopefully we can cash in a little bit more as here it comes back down to the downside. So I'm going to be short Rivian all day. I'm not reversing long. Lucid, the big trade for me yesterday was actually reversing long, but I'm not going to do that on Rivian today. I just don't see the catalyst to do that. And here we come right now trying to make new lows in Rivian, 59.35. And yeah, you are right. It's a belly dance kind of day on this stock. We're going to go 1 for 1 right now. Hold on to it as much as we can and then see where we go. So I'm expecting 58.50 my next bid.
To oil once again, guys. We got up to above 112. Got to go back to 2011 for the last time that oil was that high. Just brought up USO, the ETF here, trying to get back above 74 or hold 74, which was that pre-market level. Crude starting to bounce as well. Again, the important note for today, 10:30 inventories coming. Supposed to be a 6 million barrel drawdown, which is the biggest number I've seen in a long, long time. So with the recent move, we'll keep an eye on oil at 10:30. But oil stocks still pretty strong as well.
Yeah, and now that we're a little bit closer to the open, that dip and rip idea that I was looking for on Oxy, should have just left the bid in there. I'm not sure I would have got touched. I think it missed me by 5 cents, even if I had left the bid. But now that dip and rip could be in play. If it's going to give me a fill around that 40, I think we went over this like right away, first thing in the morning. 59 on Rivian, by the way. But talking about just 2 days in a row, dips and monster rips in oil, but Oxy in particular. So I want to make sure we're taking advantage of this if it's going to do the same thing. It could be also a break if I don't get the fill of 48.50, but I'm looking for something closer to 47.5. To 48, somewhere in that channel, with only 5 minutes to go until the open. Just want to be a part of this move after missing it. Able to catch some shorts and tops on Chevron yesterday, and if I look to short tops, it's very likely I will try to do that on Chevron as opposed to Oxy because it's been more explosive. So that's been the better name, I think, to try the fades. It's just been a little bit slower at times. Occidental, that's where you want to try to go long. At least that's my approach here today.
I'm going to try to offer again on Rivian and see if we get, did that order not go out? No, it did. Okay, good. I was going to say, do I not have shorts again? This just took down 59, so bang on that one. So we'll go ciao to Rivian here to the downside. We will put another piece on 59.50. I just feel like it spiked up there for some reason. The spread is 50 cents. The spread was just 50 cents there on Rivian. So let's see if it takes it down. You know where we're going from here, guys. And it is a banger for that as Ape Nations unite around AMC today. We'll see where that's going. I don't hold, just so you guys know, like I don't hold any AMC or anything like that. I'm completely flat on that stock, waiting to possibly get into a position. I mean, I understand what's going on with it, so we'll wait. Ford right now, a nice move here today, up 3.71% with only 4 minutes to go. It's the #1 leader here on the imbalance locator, so definitely have a watch of that. I'm bidding down here 17. It might be too shy of a bid. Like maybe we should be up here 17.25. But again, I just, yesterday we took that AMC through the open, didn't work, right? And so I'm very hesitant to try to buy some of these tops. Let's see if it does fade out. Obviously, I'll be kicking myself when we do take out 1760. But just a quick look here as we get ready to go over to Brendan at the big screen here for one last look, and then back to us for the open, guys, 4 minutes away.
Crazy volume once again this morning, guys, on Mullen Automotive. If you remember, already 100 million shares. This is going to be a crazy one again today, 6.8%. I mean, really, $1 is important, 140 to 160. Important levels. In between that, could go back and forth a lot. We ended up holding above 1 near the end of the day yesterday. So we'll see what happens if we get a test of 1. Could be a long opportunity. You get a test of 140 to 160. Want to see a failure to come back down. But tons of volume again for MULN.
And volume for IMPP, that's another sort of small cap, low float, but it's in the energy space, right? So Mullen EV, but energy space here with IMPP. It already capitulated the last 2 days, but made a nice bottom, finding that support, like kind of like head and shoulder support there, 130. And then you're making this $1.90 to $2 high, which you had a couple of days ago. It looks pretty set up for a potential 2 break, although it's starting to come back in here. I don't think I wouldn't be looking for the longs unless it's closer to 140 or 150 or maybe off of that 50 level. But otherwise, I think the $2 break is what I'm watching at the open. It's set up for the pop and fade, also a break if it takes out that level. I think we mentioned we did Ford. We talked about SoFi. We didn't really mention the banks here, and I'm just gonna throw it out that I'm still on one. Come on, give me a break. Low daily chart. We only had 2 minutes ago. Citigroup, which we were mentioning yesterday, had that multi-day level, and I'll go all the way back if my daily chart wants to give me 2020 here or 2021. This is what just got broken on Citi. It's actually a multi-year level on the daily chart, 57.6. I was looking for an intraday break on this the last couple of sessions. Obviously, we broke this more or less at the same time, like, Rivian started to head down. I think this is, it's not like a watershed moment. I mean, the banks don't necessarily move as much, but I want to be fading this name into that range. It's breaking into new territory downside, so this is a short that I want to have. I'm trying to get, I want to be getting 57.5. If I have to chase it a little bit, it'll have to be for less shares, because I think you have to give it room. It's new territory here for Citigroup, and some of the banks are approaching levels where you go to that daily, and there's just so much room below them. Citi was the first one that I saw break that key level, 57.5.
All right, a couple new position alerts here, and we'll start it off. What's up to Henry? We'll start off on Palantir right now at 12.20, so that's going to be a new position. And we're just going to see, like, I really think that we could take out this 12.50. That's going to be a level for me to look at here on the upside for PLTR. We'll put an offer there and get out if it does go up that high. Not out of it all, but just out of some, and then we'll punch our long ticket through 50. So right now I'll offer some of these like at 46, 47. And then we just started with Ford. I was looking here, and I really like this 1740 break, but I don't want to take it. So with only a minute left here, the market's starting to go up to the upside here. Remember, Ford does have that big imbalance, so we've seen that before create some buy pressure early, and then it gets faded back down. So that's kind of what we're looking for here on Ford. These are all just kind of starter positions. We want to get long Ford at 17, and we do want to get Palantir long a little bit lower than this, including a 12. But we just don't want to miss it. Sometimes these stocks just go parabolic, obviously off the open. So we'll see if we're in these ones, but light starter positions now in everything. I mean, we have a good spot in Rivian. I'm happy with that start. Palantir, Ford are just babies. Let's wait to see if we can get going on both of these names. I just don't want to miss the potential run up here in the market off the open. So, hey, man, with only 20 seconds left to go, let's get ready to rock.
Yes, sir. Miss V is on the bell. We are in positive territory to start hump day here, and Miss V is wearing the green. So let's get this party started and get some positivity.
There goes
watch
Ford,
that
by the
Nordstrom.
way. Wow.
Also, wow, Oxy taking off here. 3, 2, and 1. Ring it. Give me a break. It's gone already. Come on, Oxy.
Okay, so Palantir going the other way, but Ford right now, this is why we take light trades here. We should have took more on Ford. Ford already, we just took 15 cents there, out at 50 right there on Ford, but we'll wait to see where we go from here. Palantir coming to the downside, not open yet, so no worries on that. We just averaged in. Our average price now is 12.17, and Rivian, there it goes, baby. We're still short at 60. Let's see where Rivian goes. Ford long, 36, moving, Rivian short, $60 in the money.
Yeah, I mean, Rivian just continues to go. I did get that fill in Citigroup, so we got the short side trade. That one breaking those levels on the daily chart. There's Occidental at the open. It goes to 48.20. I'm sitting at 48.10. I might take a baby long. I just want something in front of that 48 level in case we're going to make another one of those just ridiculous moves to the upside. Worth watching. I'm going to get on the bit of Rivian again because it's getting very close to that 58 level, which we're targeting. 58. Yeah, 58.50 just sort of came in here. So going to take the next leg out. This is just dying, falling like an absolute rock. So oil up, Rivian down. I understand that high oil prices are good for EVs, but keep in mind, competition, man, they're the ones raising prices. That's not a good look at this time.
No, it is not. We're just watching here. We just got out of some Palantir. It's not really moving, so we just don't want to risk too much on that one to the downside. So we'll hold on to Palantir and see where it goes from here. Let's check out on SoFi. So far, so good today, guys. Like, that Rivian trade is just a monster. We're in the money now at $1.60 on the Rivian, and it's our #1 idea on the sticky note here. Here comes SoFi. This is what we're looking at, $12.60. Maybe we get this bid. SoFi trying to find its footing right now, coming back down to the downside. There goes. Down goes Rivian, down to 58 and change right now. Yeah, we're pretty happy with this call. The #1 play on the sticky note seems to be paying off right now. A downside right here for Rivian. And then SoFi, oops, that's still Rivian, SOFI here. Let's check out, yeah, so we're getting ready to get long on this one. $12.60, we're literally rating right here. So hopefully it doesn't miss us. It just hit printed 61s. Let's take this $12.60 bid. Come on, give it to us.
Yeah, it just took first out on Citigroup when it took out 57 even. And we're going to hit some Raptors ones because I was at the game and it was a good one. But Nordstrom's heading back into the upside. So it's starting to break back up. Look, I kind of thought 23s would be a thing, 22, 23. The dip didn't really come in. So I'm not going to chase the move upside here. I think we can be at least a little bit patient. Right before the open, I saw some of you guys talking about this, and we didn't talk about some of the other fintech names, but Square just broke 125. It's been a strong run, but have a look at this level right here, 124. I think that's a little bit more key. It's been top heavy. If it breaks that, that would not be a good level to go for Square. There's some room below here. Brendo?
Early strength in some of the travel names, guys. If you didn't watch the State of the Union last night, the U.S. imposing a travel ban for Russian airlines, but U.S.-based airlines Very strong out of the gate here. Lots of volume on the buy side for all of them right across the board, but AAL leading at this point.
Guys, Ford's still not even open. I mean, look how crazy this
How is
looks.
that possible?
It's not even open yet, so we'll have to wait to see where Ford's going. But new trade alert right now, we got AMC. We got AMC long at 1760. Okay, now Ford's open, and it's coming back to the downside. So we took out some profit up here at these levels. This is what we're talking about. Take out some and wait to see if we can fall back in here for Ford. So Ford, the real bid is down here at 1705 or so. Actually, we're not open yet on Ford, it doesn't look like. So I don't see any New York prints, so we'll have to wait. So I don't know where this name's going to go, but is it open now? Maybe it's open. It looks more clean now. Yeah, so it looks like Ford. Yeah, there's Ford. Okay, so Ford is now open. We are long. Look at AMC. Let's go. 25 cents now in the money on AMC. So this is a good one trade for us. Again, we waited as patient as we can. Let's see if we get some 89s now on AMC to the outside here. We are long at 60. 17. Give me those 89s. 1760 on AMC long. We just got those. Yes, we did. So there's the 89s out on AMC. Palantir is the only one that has no idea what it's doing. It is just going to the downside here. And I said that in the morning. I was like, uh-oh, Palantir with a contract, not good. And then here it comes right to the downside. So there goes Palantir fading back in. We're going to have to be as patient as we can be with this name.
I know what happened.
And we're not waiting for this one. So Palantir, well, we are going to wait.
You said you wouldn't talk about it, then you talked about it. That's why it's happening.
Oh,
I'm going to hit this graphic, but not because of the wheelbarrow, because there ain't no love in the city. Ain't no love in the heart of town. I love Bill Withers. Citigroup continuing its push down. Again, if you find a stock, it's breaking multi-year levels like this, I'm going to want to be short. I scalp some out there as it takes out the first couple of quarters. I'm going to hold through the low of the day. And of course, as that hurts, headed back to the downside, the two shorts fantastic. I got the first long on SoFi. But it's now testing that pre-market low. So if it takes out this low, I mean, I'm going to wait back because I think 11, like we said, like 1135, like 1170, like those are the levels, man. So it'll be a relatively tight stop. I thought if we could bounce, there's a nice scalp trade into 13, but I'm not going to fight this one. There's a huge gap to be filled on this stock, so I don't want to get too stubborn with it. I already know what's going to, we do a little thing in the afternoons.
Ford is gone, by the way.
Yeah, we do a little thing called frustrating trades. Occidental, man, like I'm just sitting here trying to get that dip, and you, of course, another dip and rip $1, almost, it's at above 49. Looks like 50 is going to be in play today on Occidental. And Rivian, the next leg down, that channel at the bottom was 57. I got greedy with Lucid yesterday. Why is this still, there we go.
Nice
I got greedy with Lucid yesterday because I had a clear target that I liked at 33.5. I ended up not taking it at that bid, trying to get more and be greedy, but 57 is the level. That's where I want to cover out of this Rivian trade. So I'm going to get on that bid, and this time I will not cancel it.
Oh, shit. Boom for AMC. Look at this move to the upside, man. Look at that. We have the lowest tick of the day here. 1760 long on AMC. Now 50 cents in the money. Run AMC. Nice move. We just took a piece out right there at 1815. Okay. We are out of half right now. Let's get out another piece here if we can at 99. We're out of, there we go. We're out of half now, more than half. 70% out on AMC. Each one of these 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, whatever. 70%. We're out of 70% now of AMC as this one just rocking to the high side. Good trade there for me. We did average in also on, I mean, good trade for everybody. We waited. We told you about that 1750 level on AMC. That's actually what we wanted to wait for there. SoFi though, yeah, not good. Coming back down. It was not a great report, but it was a good enough report to get SoFi rocking this morning. And now, like I said, we felt like people would be coming through and taking profits on SoFi. And it looks like that's what's happening. Oh yeah, profits be damned, Ford. Oh my God, there it is to the upside. And again, guys, I mean, I'm going to keep tooting this and touting it, not tooting, hopefully, touting this every single day because look at this sticky note here today. We have Ford on here. Look, like this is what we're talking about. Ford longs, man. We're in this trade. SoFi long, AMC, Rivian short. How's that tasting? That's $3 in the money, the Rivian short, guys. What a big day. Hope you're having a good time here. Rivian, look at this, 59. Oh, wow. Where's my bid? I had a bid there at 57.20. Rivian just touched down to 57.21 there.
No, it didn't.
It didn't? Where were you bidding?
I'm on 21.
Okay, 25, sorry, touchdown to. Yeah, so let's go Rivian back to the downside. Hopefully we can get these 20s. Rivian, a monster move here. I believe that was a call for Brendo.
It was.
Some of the little energy companies starting to pop up, guys. IMPP just on a volume alert there, 30% now. Testing pre-market highs, starting to get back towards that 2 area for IMPP.
It just went down there and got to 23. I just got to fill by moving to Will Clark's number. Will the Thrill Clark, one of my favorite players. That's me moving to 22. Forget about it. I did not make the same play yesterday on Lucid getting greedy. That was a target area. I saw someone saying in the chat, and you're absolutely right, talking about like levels of support even lower than this on a gap for like 50s, that kind of thing. That's more of a swing. This is an opening drive, and some of these reverse pretty heavily. So I'm going to ring the register. I'm happy to be in it. I don't mind going back to the well if it wants to pump to the upside. But you have to be patient, I think. And going to go back to Citi. That one's leveling off a little bit. It's not Rivian. Like, Citigroup is not Rivian in terms of how volatile I think it's going to end up being. But I still think it's going to be a downward trend for this stock. And, I really don't care at this point. Like, I just feel that 57.50 was too big. If it's not above that price, it's a short for me. And watch out for that IMPP. Remember, that's the low floater. That's an energy name. Oh, come on. Load. It got close to that IMPP, Neil. It got close to that $2 range and pulled back. As long as it holds these pre-market lows, it's still good for that 2 break at some point, right? I want to see those hold up. And it looks like oil might have made a big reversal there. Keep in mind, like Brendan said, that we just cracked 110, so we're heading downside. It starts to level off. I think Oxy can be bought off that 47.5 range. But at 10:30, we have those inventory numbers. So just keep that in mind if you get into an oil trade.
I'm up a lot. Like, I'm up decent amount today. As AMC right now starts to go to the upside, I was just offering 30s there, went as high as 26. So maybe let's offer 25s now on AMC. Let's offer 24s to be exactly there. As we got a big move there. We now have, guys, $3. Look at Rivian. Like, again, I don't know what else to do here. We just should have shorted more Rivian today. And I called 57.50 was a great out. And now we're at 56.50. Guys, $3.50 in the money on Rivian. If that's not worth a bang, then I don't know what is. Go, Brendo.
CRM, guys, just getting killed off of earnings. If you remember, we mentioned it briefly there, but straight to the downside. Yet to see a green candle on this chart. We had 216 was pre-market support there, right back through yesterday's range and into 2 days ago. Now down 1.2 for CRM.
Yeah, and like, look, don't get me wrong, the report was good, but like I said, if it wasn't still expensive of a stock and the P still at like 50 on that bad boy, then it would have been up like 10%. And I think that's what the market is telling you. The good news is, well, guess what? You're going to be able to get a good company on discount. If it gets down to 200, that's the only level that I'm interested in possibly defending here for the day trade. 1 round number, 2 previous support. And you pop to the 15, maybe that'll look, it looks a little bit better when I use the 15-minute chart for you. This is what 200 looks like. We get there, and I think that's worth the defense in CRM. Oil's starting to really come back here. Oxy right back into that 47.5. So this is what we wanted at the opening drive. And you know what? As a matter of fact, I'm not going to bid it. That is a wick top through 49, so that is a sort of like a breakout, failed break reversal, which I don't want to take. And the other day, I broke a rule on Mullen taking a short when it was sort of the reverse of this, and I got into a short position saying, why am I doing that? It was a failed breakdown. I should have been reversing into a long. So I'm not going to put that long trade on. Conditions have changed when you have a breakout through the high like that. Maybe it goes, but it can go without me because that's not the setup I want. Brendo?
Another one we mentioned briefly for solar. Guys, there's been all kinds of strength in solar companies the past couple of weeks. FSLR reports not good, but trying to get back higher here, testing these resistance levels right now for FSLR.
Okay, so basically it's SoFi and Palantir, like the 2 kind of crappy stocks here that aren't working out for us today. That kind of the Cathie Wood, big high valuation names here today not working. But what is working? Well, I shouldn't say that because AMC is working as well. But we sort of know the rhetoric behind that. Look at Ford, man, 58 cents now in the money. So we're going to go, yeah, buddy, spin the money for that one. Rivian still making new lows, man. Rivian just touched 56.20 right there. We're still short Rivian. $60 Rivian short right now, paying the bills. Yeah, we had a great night last night. And yeah, today, now we can pay the bills with some of these trades. So, so far so good here. Rivian, nice little move to the downside. Palantir is now only 13 cents out, but But we did average into Palantir. So we averaged in, so we're able to take some out now. The initial position, obviously bad. But again, like we're licking our wounds. We've really learned here that we don't need to make money on every single, I mean, sometimes it works out that way, but you don't need to make money on every single stock. Just make sure that the ones that you're trading and that are moving, you kind of maximize them, right? And that's why we have the bigger and better plays on Rivian and Ford and AMC than we do on some of these other names. Like Palantir, not even on the sticky note. We shouldn't have started this, but we did. So that's what we got to do. Now we got to work our way out of this one. Palantir, we're watching it. Ford just touched 18 bucks, guys. Big win there for Ford. AMC 18, and SoFi is the problem.
Brendo?
That VanEck Russian ETF, guys, just halted on volatility back to the upside. So there was an initial flush down to 7, but halted right now on volatility for RSX.
Look at it. I totally forgot to look at that this morning, and we keep talking about it. And look, man, there's great moves in it. Obviously, trade with caution because of headline risk. But yeah, man, that ETF's been going bonkers. IMPP did finally got that break of 2. I could have gone with the pre-market high at 195, but you know how I feel about breakouts when you go into overhead resistance. And 2 is a psychological number. That's about the only reason that I'll call it resistance without it actually doing anything. So I did take the 2 break. I ended up getting slipped to 3s. I got some at 2 and then some at 4. Average price 3s. I'm going to scalp it to the 2/4 and then see if I can't hold on. There's room to run here, right? But let's keep in mind, like, you had that pullback in oil and you got inventories, and part of the reason this is squeezing is because it's an energy name. So when I see that 2/4 fall off yesterday, I want to make sure I'm grabbing some profit into that number. Citigroup is doing just fine. Well, sorry. The short in Citigroup is doing just fine, so I want to make sure I'm still holding on to it. Once you've entered new territory, on the daily's not going to low. Once you've entered new territory, there's a monster gap to be filled. So I just want to let it work and then see how far it can go. This is now not going to load because I initially did that NF thing. I don't even know what market NF is. On why?
Yeah, we've always wondered that.
You mentioned AMC. So just for simple posterity, now my charts won't load at all. I will point out that GameStop is also trading upside today. It's been back and forth this 120 level. If it rolls over, sometimes it's easier to play the fade in the name that isn't having the news. Just going to throw that out.
Yep, correct. Yeah, so right now, yeah, the fade play. Yeah, I really like that AMC long, man. We're still long that AMC. 70 cents now in the money. And ye of little faith, Henry, is I, because Palantir comes right back in and is spinning it one more time. We just got, like, look at this bump up here for Palantir. Like, wow. So now we can understand that 1170. And it's just funny because it's just, we're not patient with this name. Look, it comes right into this 1170, 1160 area on Palantir. And if we just loaded that up down there, then we would have been a little more on side. But for right now, Palantir, a negative name for us. We'll see if it can work to the upside. Man, that Rivian was a great one. Okay, AMC still moving, man. 18. We haven't gotten anything out. We're going to wait for an upside move on AMC. As you can see, we have this low bid, the lowest bid of the day. I don't think anybody's going to have a better tick than that. And if you do, maybe it's 4 cents better, the low of the day on AMC here. So we'll see. I'm still waiting. Am I waiting up here? I thought I was. Nah, I'm not waiting anywhere. I'm waiting at 1850. So that's how far I think AMC can go. SoFi, really, like I said, probably the most disappointing stock for me here today. We've gotten some out on some of these moves back up, but realistically, starting this trade at 1260 we thought would be good. Not good at all. They are really hitting SoFi today on that. So, and we do have to watch out. Look, Rivian's been a monster for me, so no, I'm not getting out of it. I'm not going to trade it out. It's just let's see where it goes, but we did make that bottom at 56, so if it comes back down here, I think that's probably worth a short. But remember, the market's making a move up, or sorry, getting out, but remember, the market's making a move up here for Rivian, and that's why we're drifting a little higher here. I will probably reload this thing around 58 and then use this 58.50 as our out, so we'll reload Rivian up here near 58, but it has dropped a lot, Brendo.
Wish, guys, also trying to bounce here. Context Logic reported earnings. Hey, guess what? They were not good. Bounced off $2 aftermarket yesterday. Just saw a huge bid show up there for Wish.
They get to 2 things, man. We almost forgot about that one as well. I'm going to show you quickly Square. I tried very quickly when someone was mentioning it was falling to show you that 124. It wasn't on my radar, so I know we're making other trades here. But yeah, it crushed through that 24 level and dropped $2.50. And you got to watch out for these floor breaks on names that have run this high up. And Mike, you asked what's going on with Intel. Well, I didn't tune in, but I'm sure maybe some people did. I have no idea. To the State of the Union address, right? So one of those things that got mentioned was semiconductors and EV build out in the U.S., made in the USA. That's Intel's big push. So they're going to get a bit of a bump on that. I think if that's reacting to that news. The other part of that, it's a turnaround story, and it's been in a bit of a channel. So you're getting a bit of a trend break as well, and just a breakout on the chart. But it was mentioned in the State of the Union for building in the States, and they're building that $20 billion plant that they're investing in. I think that's the reason behind that momentum. IMPP, no way. Did I miss that reload? Looks like I did. That 195 pre-market high, yeah, was sitting at 97. It went to 99. It's running right back to the upside here. I might have to try to get more, a little closer to 2 on any dips to get some more shares. If I'm going to be scalping this range, then I want to make sure I'm getting into some more when it tests down a little bit here. But good look so far on IMPP. And I was looking for a break of 12 on SoFi for the next leg in. Looks like it's trying to hold 12. I want to see if there's any size on that bid that might be worth going after.
Yeah, we're trying to do that. We're rocking right now, man. We are cooking with gas here. And I don't think it's nothing. I mean, that's a good point there about Intel, but AMD also up the same percentage as Intel. And then we'll also see what NVIDIA is doing, just because we had the question about NVIDIA yesterday. Yeah, so they're all up 2%, so that's great. I mean, that's part of what's motoring this market. And there goes Palantir. Yes, a nice little move to the upside. But what we're really happy about, and we're going to floss it off, there's that out, man. We got 1840s. I was at 48. It looks like we would have got that, but it bounced around a little bit at 40, and I was just like, you know what the hell? I mean, 8 cents difference. This is a $1 winner now for AMC to the upside. So yes, sir. Pretty obviously, yeah, that's fine. Obviously pretty happy with the way that one's turning out for us here. AMC with a runner, man. A big runner to the upside right here. SoFi back up. I think this is worth getting another piece out. So let's get some out here on SoFi as it's just made a nice move back to 12.30. All we're doing is licking our wounds, man, on SoFi. This is going to be our wrong name here today. But hey, you got to be wrong on every once in a while. What's up, Brendo?
Banks showing some strength, guys. They've been very weak over the past couple of days since the weekend. Anyways, JPM back up 1.2, trying to bounce through 139 right now. Same story for WFC. Citigroup as well, showing decent strength so far.
As you said that, I got a reload in Citigroup here, and then just the same trade I made right at the open, a little tighter to the 57.50, and then got some out at 57. That's a strong move, man. So maybe the breakdown has tried to halt out here, and I got to consider being a little bit more conservative. If it gets back down to 56, maybe it only wants to give you $1 on this trade. So I have some caution to that after seeing that. And by the way, thank you for the super chat, Mike. Don't apologize. Well, I was answering the question. I missed the reload on IMPP because my bid was 2 cents too low. Like, I'm answering the question, we're trading live. Like, that's on me. Like, if I was a little bit more aggressive, I would have got that fill if I wanted. My bid was at like 97, and the stock went to 199. There's nothing I can do about that there. And we're here, we're trading live. Like, we might miss things because I ramble way too much instead of just getting into the position right away. But you don't have to apologize for that. We're here, we're talking, we're trading. It's what we do. CRM got to 206 before it bounced. I kind of thought maybe it would get to 200. I don't think that, it's not a dream. I don't want CRM to go down. I don't think that is dead yet. The market is booming, and CRM is barely getting off the hump there, so it's still relatively weak. Nordstrom's, oddly enough,
oh yeah,
not a single trade in Nordstrom's today, which is weird because up 33%, and a $2 bump at the open. But guess what? It's running into some chop at these at the opening highs. I'm just going to show you the 15 minutes so you can see there's nothing up here recently except for aftermarket action at 27. So it's trying to break back out here through the high of the day. It's going to be worth it for me to try a quick little fade off of this high, just risk to reward. I mean, it might give you like $1 to risk 10, 15 cents, but that's only if it starts to curl. Not really seeing a ton of selling just yet off this 26.30 random price it's making a top. It's breaking through, so I'm not going to bother doing it here. Maybe 27 to be next stop. I missed it the first time. I said I'll get a little bit more aggressive with IMPP the second time, which was literally bidding 201 instead of 197. And then I'm going to get at the same scalp trade we're doing before, up around that 210 area on the way to 225. So IMPP, I'm doing the reload. But if it holds a lower high here, I have to be careful. If that's all the break it wants to give you, sometimes you just have to accept it and take your profits.
Yep, agreed. Okay, so IMPP, yeah, I'm not trading that one, but you don't know about me. I'm an IMPP. Okay, so Palantir, look, it just tanked again, but this is a level that we're okay with if it comes back in. I just put a bid here at 76. So, it went down to 75 there. We'll see if we can get that same load again up here and then just use 70 as our out. Like, it's pretty clear if 70 breaks, then we will get out of Palantir. So waiting to see if the reload's coming on that name. If it is, great. If not, whatever, man. We'll just let this ride. We've actually able to get a lot out of Palantir. So it'll be a negative stock, but we're just watching it. And oh crap, I didn't even get a chance to put my order in. SoFi here taking everything out of my account today as this name starting to go back up to the downside. Sorry, starting to go back up, starting to go down here. SoFi getting hit today. We just took another, I meant to get out at 12, so I guess we can get out at 12 now as it's just dancing around here. So let's see what it does. Yeah, there it goes. We wanted to average in to this play. We just did there at 12, but as you can see, it is taking down some of these bottoms. Just so let's not panic too much. But I don't want to hold this all the way to 1140, 1150. Realistically, that's a good size there. But we did write down that we were looking at 12, so now it's come in, and yeah, there goes SoFi. We got to do some better work here on that name. Unfortunately, we got excited about it, thought that, hey, this is SoFi time, but it is not SoFi time. It is short Rivian time and throw to Brendan time.
Another earnings name, guys. Arlo, A-R-L-O. They make smart home equipment technology. A-R-L-O in New York up big time. Their earnings better than expected, so back above 10, 10.50, and then some. Recent highs here this morning for Arlo.
Yeah, I'm just going to tweet out. SoFi is going to be the hit for me. And the other level we're looking at, which is why I want that out up here at pre-market lows, was down around like 11.30 to 11.60, and we're getting there pretty quick. And someone mentioned in the chat, you're absolutely right. Powell is not. It's not a speech. He's in front of Congress, right? So he will be answering questions in front of Congress, and we'll have to watch out for that. But obviously, all you can do is keep your ear to the ground. If he moves the markets, sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. It looks like whatever that spike was in the banks is starting to get faded back in. So, Citigroup, we did reload it. Last time I got the out at 56.5 and then didn't cover it at 56 even. I think this time I'll learn my lesson. If we tick a little bit lower, I'll try to take the dollar on the last of it if that's what it wants to give me. Citigroup's a stock that I should be happy taking a dollar win on, and I wasn't. I was trying to hold for more. I'll go ahead and ring the register on it if that's what I'm going to be able to get. So Citi, I'm now on the bid in front of the low of the day, and I think it's just like Rivian. Sometimes these stocks put in that opening range, and once that's happened, it's still NASDAQ, Neil, and once that's happened, it comes down that second time. Maybe you don't like it as much. Might have got out a little bit early on Rivian, but I anticipated about somewhere down there. It's actually holding 57s Rivian, so relatively weak still, down that 8%. But if it jams back to the upside, sometimes you get those jailbreaks down, and it can be just as explosive when it starts to come back in here, guys. So might be the case over there in Rivian. And like I said, Nordstrom's was just blowing the top last I had checked. Well, guess what? Failed break. You know what I say about failed breaks? That's an entry. So the first consolidation was right around 26. I didn't want it on the way up. I prefer it on the way back down, especially when it's a high short name. I'd rather have some momentum with me, some longs trapped that might have taken that breakout through the high of the day. And, that short interest has been the story. Up 33% Nordstrom's on a decent quarter. I'm not saying it was crazy, but it doesn't have to be much when everyone's been betting against it.
All right, just looking to see if there's anything else we could trade that we really haven't yet. AMD coming down here. The NASDAQ is coming down a little bit, so that's exciting. Anthony Noto, I guess you guys just said there, was on Yahoo Finance. Never heard of it. Yeah, so maybe SoFi creating some moves back up to the upside. And on that note, we just took an 07. Right there, it just ripped up to 07. We were sitting there, so we took that out. Our last offer was here at 09. We should have waited. I don't know why I didn't wait for 12 flat. I don't know even why I got an 09 bid there, but here it goes. Hopefully SoFi can now come back up to the upside. Okay, Henry and company, we are now reloaded in Palantir as, okay, here we go. Look at the market, man. The market is absolutely cracking here. 1170, if it comes out, that's our out there for Palantir. I might as well just cancel all the trades. We know where this is going. If this hits 1170 breaking to the downside, then that is a downward move, and we are going to be out of Palantir. Of course, look, this is the problem. Like, you average into a position, but then when the futures crack is the only time you ever get the average in, right? So, I gotta do a little better work on that. Like, we don't need to wait for these best prices, because sometimes when the best prices come in, it's because the stock is getting crushed. And it's like, do you even want to go long and catch what looks to be a falling sword here? But again, I don't want to talk about Palantir too much, but we just, newest position there is Palantir. SoFi is obviously not a concern as much anymore as we've built this back up. Let's take a quick look at Ford. We're holding like 10% again of Ford, maybe not even that much. It touched 18. I just wanted to see where this thing goes. We do have a nice long here. And remember, we took it in the pre-market, so it wasn't a huge amount of shares. which is why I was sort of waiting to see what was going to happen. Should have took it out at 18, learn our lesson. Next time it comes back up here, I think 18's worth it. In case this market does continue to crash down, like it definitely looks like it's doing, Ford, another spot here, 1730. If we can come back in, it held that. It could be, I mean, we will reload a piece of it, but I still think 17, like if the market crashes, man, a lot of these names can come back in. So watch out for that move. AMC also coming in. And SoFi, even though the market's coming down, it's actually holding up pretty good here, north of 12. So let's see if we get this big run. I mean, I don't think 1240 is out of the realm of possibilities yet. So let's see if we get back up here on SoFi, trying to hold out pretty good. If the market turns, I feel like SoFi will as well.
I am definitely looking a gift horse in the mouth with IMPP because some like people just keep offering, not people, whoever keeps offering these 10, 20, reeing up at 12s and 13s. It keeps trying to break back out and get to the quarters, and it hasn't been able to do it. But I got the reload, so I'm still trying to hold on. The idea with this break was try to maintain a position. I thought it would get to this 225 mark, and in the event that it can break it, I'll have one last little piece to try to get to 250. But I'm telling you, there's just offer after offer keeps reeing up between 10 and 15s here. So it needs to break this eventually. We did get into Nordstrom's, like I mentioned. Come on, stop refreshing 15s and let's go. Anyways, whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm just staring at that level too if people keep getting on that offer. But JWN, or Nordstrom, sorry, pumping back to the downside. Sometimes you have to wait for it to capitulate a bit. So that fail break did happen. It just bounced off of 80s. I threw a bid down here to try to capture 1-to-1, and then I'll get some more shares out at VWAP. And then if it wants to flush, cover at 25. I think that's too strong of a bounce back. And with the short interest here, I'd rather be taking the safe win when you're going counter trend on a high shorted name. It's already 10 o'clock, man. So let's get to Brendan at the big screen. What's happening now?
Positive numbers. Good to see you right across this board. You'll see everything in the right direction today. S&P 0.8. The Dow still leading 0.9. The NASDAQ about 0.5% in positive territory. You can see, crude has come off significantly, but starting to maybe find a bottom. 4.8% for oil still. A lot of energy stocks nicely higher on the day, regardless of the move in crude oil. A few names we were talking about in the pre-market here. AMC, not much to see. A little bit negative on the day, but still a decent move for AMC right out of the gate. Palantir, another new deal, another negative move to the downside. And Salesforce, just straight southbound right from the open this morning for CRM. Guys, back over to you.
There's going to be a point where that's going to be like just a fantastic opportunity on Salesforce. I'm not saying there yet. It's like you said, it's still expensive. I've done it. So I was bidding twice at this level on Citigroup. The first time it came down here in front of 56, like ready to take a buck. I didn't do it. Then got the reload, and I was just on the bid at 56 again, and the market started coming back in, and I've gone ahead and canceled my bid and pushed back to 55 here. I'm just going to go back to the original thesis. Like, it's a monster level break on the daily chart. So let's give it that much. Let's give it that room. Like, either it reclaims that high, gets past that 50, that 57.5, and with any strength, and I'll have to cover it. Otherwise, let's hold on. And Nordstrom's, I tried to be conservative with the trade, and I was willing to take it down at VWAP, and it's already pumping back to the upside. That's the reason why I don't want to hold on for the home run. This is a super strong name. If it takes out the high, I'm gone. This is a squeeze-capable name in brand new uncharted territories for a while. I mean, maybe we were saying earlier that 200-period moving average up at 28.5. That could be a spot. $30 could be a spot. Otherwise, it's a tight stop on any short that I take here. And give it one more shot that it fades off this high, but if it breaks 50s, I am out of Nordstrom's. And yet, those sellers are still very much in play on IMPP. I'm trying to hold off on offering 214s, 215s, but people keep selling there, so I might as well sell a piece too. Miss V, what do you have?
Hey guys, I'll kindly remind you to smash the like button. Please help us to get 2,000 likes as soon as possible. And also, Neil, Sean, can you please take a look at DVAG, because of a lot of people talk about that, and it's reaping right now. Back to you.
Reaping.
See, another reason we talk about the best community ever and why we want to grow it is I totally forgot about DWAC, man. And that's what being on the trading floor or being part of the community is all about, is that you see what is moving and what is actionable. $100 on DWAC, and I wasn't looking at this thing? Like, give me a break. Thank you, Ms. V, and thank you, everybody that pointed that one out. I got to go pay for shorts in case this thing goes to 110 or 115. But finally getting off the schneid and starting to scream. Look, DWAC, we've talked about it before, but if you can see what's happening, it's actually making this final break. And when I said 110, 115, it's because of that gap up when they released in the App Store, and those were those highs. It got to like 120 much earlier in the pre-market, but retail came in and sold en masse at 110. I think that would be the next level up if he can get there. So good look on DWAC. I'm excited to finally be having the stock break back out. Just wish I was there.
SoFi's starting to go ham a little bit here. We'll see if we could take some pieces out. Unfortunately, yeah, Palantir does break and goes to the downside, so that was not. I mean, it's again the only red name that we have on with SoFi today. Look at Rivian, man, down to day's low again. We did not get that reload, so we can cancel. I'm just going to hit Shift Escape and get rid of all the orders now, as this is $4 sorry, in the money for this one. Still 40 cents in the money on AMD or AMC, sorry, and that's what it was. It was a new position alert here for AMD. Look, the market is still holding above here. We're dancing around 14,000, which once again was the bottom today. Like, it's not rocket science trading these futures, to be honest with you. But you can see right here, AMD right now just trying to figure out what it wants to do. That's the NASDAQ, and it's bouncing around. So like that, AMD is, and it's tough because this is zoomed in here. It's trying to figure out what to do as well. We're right at the 50 period. That's why I like it. So let's see if the NASDAQ takes off like it's trying to do now. Hopefully, here we go. Yeah, baby. Now we're starting to go back up to the upside. So here we go. Bitcoin 45,000. Ethereum just broke 3,000 as well. And AMD off to the races. We're long AMD 1158. So here it is. Nice. Sorry, 115.58. Nice 40 cents in the money now on AMD. Target up here 1620. So let's see if we can get this back going to 1620 now. A beautiful long here on AMD. Let's just let it work a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And I finally got those pay for shorts. And Ari, I see you in there. For 3,000 likes while I dye my hair red, I'm not sure if you noticed, and it might not be obvious, but I don't actually have any hair right now. So, I mean, I can't help you. I can't help you with that one. I got no hair, man, and it would take me. How long it would take me to grow enough hair for it to even matter? Like, you couldn't dye it. I keep it pretty short. It would take months. But 3,000 is not a big enough number. If you want something that crazy, you got to start talking about 5,000 or 10,000 likes. Yeah. DWAC, if it reclaims, like 3,000, like we've done 3,000.
Come on, son.
Come on, son. Come on, son. Get the you-know-what out of here with that.
Son.
Come on, son.
Come on, son.
Ed Lover, I love that.
You got at least 5,000 likes. Come on, son. Come on, son.
DWAC try to break back above 100 as we speak. Look, I kind of like that pre-market high breakout, somewhere around 98 for the dip buy. Otherwise, it needs to reclaim highs. Otherwise, it goes crazy. So almost talking about eyebrow hair. I don't have that much of that either, but that's just a weird look. Who is that even a thing?
Who the hell's trying to pimp
What are you guys
even
talking about?
What are you guys even doing?
Eyebrow hair. I don't even know what you guys are talking about. And by the way, I should have just sold. Like, forget about it. I'm not listening to myself. Like, there was whoever kept selling on IMPP at 13s, 14s, and 15s. They just wouldn't stop. And now it's pulling back into VWAP. It's enough that I'm not reloading it here. I think if it takes out that 198, I'm just going to get out of the trade. It'll be positive going for the long. But that was a lot of resistance before it could even get to that 225. Brendo?
Positive notes on Nike today, guys. Up 2% here, having a pretty good day as well. Just testing day highs for NKE.
Okay, so yeah, Neil just mentioned about oil there. Yeah, good point on that one. Ford just bouncing around here, trying to check in on it again. We're waiting for it to go lower here. Doesn't look like that's happening. Rivian now making out new lows. Going to take out 56 here, and wow, just to have held this would have been ridiculous. We should have done that, but still, my number one stock, obviously, as we go here on Rivian. But we need to find some more names. Let's go back over to AMD. We just took a piece out. Okay, there it is. So one in right there, 50s, out 16. So right there, that's 40 cents. So already took 40 cents on this name, and now we'll wait for a little bit higher. But see the NASDAQ, here it comes, crashing back down again. So hey, the market just can't find its way. It's just doing absolutely nothing right now, as we'll wait to see, Fed Chair Powell coming through. Look, I thought DraftKings actually got an upgrade from somebody and today. Was it Morgan that upgraded DraftKings? Yeah, they got upgraded today for sure. Brendan can double check that. I'm almost certain about it. But DraftKings today, it was either last night or it was like a new idea for somebody. We'll find out about that before I talk more about it.
Someone just got schmacked on DWAC for 50,000.
Schmacky DWAC?
They just stuck to 50,000 on the bid on DWAC and got it one time. I'm talking like,
One
time, one fill. You put 50,000 in the bid. When the level 2 looks like this, it's like 100 lots, 200 lots, like 1,000 stands out, let alone 50,000. So yeah, someone like DWAC at $100, maybe they know something we don't. But that changes the litmus for me. Like, I'm not going to jam in here at 98. I want to see it find some support before I get back on the bid. I was going to do the dip buy,
what's
but someone just got
happened
lit up. What just happened, man?
I don't know, but the market is right now getting cracked to the downside right now. So I don't know. Yeah, Bullard can go Bullard himself.
Every time
as that's going to the downside right now, it looks like Bullard. Inflation environment does compare to the 1970s. Okay, come on, Bullard.
Was that his actual quote?
Come on, son. Come on, son. That should be Bullard in there, but we'll see what happens here. SoFi with a huge move to the downside. Not a good one right now for us on SoFi. Good thing we cashed some of those out at 7s and 9s as that just dipped down. We take the advantage of getting longer again on Palantir, the only stock that really, I mean, SoFi and Palantir, but Palantir I'm actually using bigger size because I feel like these levels are key. But we're going to go long here against this 1150, and that's that. If sometimes Palantir just runs, and it's like, we'll take a shot. We're not down that much money on it. Hasn't been a good trade, but we'll see what happens now with Palantir and SoFi as they're both heading to the downside on that Bullard speak there. Obviously, if Brendan has anything on this, will come, but I think that's the story right now. So Bullard feels like environment is the same as the 70s. Maybe that's why he's not the chair. Let's let Powell say something about that. As Rivian right now, it's like he shoots and he just scores, man. The #1 idea on the list, that's it. Rivian right there, big time movement. We're one short, $60 on that break, and Rivian is just as like, see you later. What is the bottom on Rivian anyways? We've touched 50 before, so we'll work out for 52 as the very, very bottom there. But this market is having no love as it feels like it's getting killed, but it's only down or up 0.02. So not bad. And I forgot about this AMD trade, so we got to look at this one. What's up, Brendo?
Yeah, the other note from Fed's Bullard there was he's basically saying the market will price in the risk of the Russian-Ukraine war. So suggesting that there's still more to come, I guess, would be the other negative note there.
Yes.
Yeah, no, with Bank of Canada raises, they could have put it off. They
that?
could have waited for the Fed to make their first move. The market's really starting to head southbound here, so I'm glad now that I pulled that bid on Citigroup because, yeah, it's the only short I got on, man. I got shaken out? Shook?
Squozed?
I got shaken out of that JWN Nordstrom's trade, but we're going to hold on to Citigroup. I'm in front of 55. I want to capture that $2. This ain't getting squozed, that's for sure. Nordstrom's might still be. No. Yeah, it looks like it made top wick on Nordstrom. So not going to be happy about that trade. If this is back at 24, you're going to guess what my frustrating trade is going to be of the day. But at least we managed to sniff out IMPP for the time being. All those sellers up there at 13, yeah, I should have covered. I know I was talking about it and never did anything. But we did do a lot of scalping from that 10-cent range from 2 up to 210, understanding that it was possibly a failed break. It looks like that's going to be rolling over. So all I got left is Citigroup. But SoFi is getting into that target area. And by the way, like I'm still looking for like 30s to 60s. I think that's that range for SoFi. But Square, which was the first thing I noticed to break, is continuing to the downside. It's just such a huge level at 24. I probably should have been involved in it. It even gave you a secondary push here. And if you're looking for places where Square block could stall out, you're waiting for like 116 or so. So another $4, and I think maybe we can catch a bit of a bid. And let's be real, like the future's pulling back in. Like the NASDAQ and the ES still have a chance to hold the same levels on the way back down they've been doing every day. That's 43 on the E-minis, and that's 14,000 on the NASDAQ futures. So you get down to that price, and then you start looking for where you can do those buys, whether it's, that was too fast typing Microsoft there. Whether that's Softy, last time in this range, it was down around those 94s. I think you're probably checking back in at like 92s. Or pick your poison. Apple has some decent bids, usually at 162. So market heading back in. Keep in mind, of course, the Fed is talking in front of Congress, so you're going to get quotes and you're going to get little tidbits. We'll bring them all to you live because that's what we do.
Yeah, exactly. And so let's just like watch this market for a minute here because we did take, and we got to be patient with these trades. So we are now into AMD again. Obviously, it's 14.28 is our average price. So we put on obviously a much bigger position down here now for AMD, and I'm going to use this bottom 112.70. I just don't think I don't know. I could be wrong, but we got to use some levels to get out. So yesterday, right before the close there, we battled around a little bit, and we were not breaking through 112.80. So look, man, we're 30 cents out of the money now on AMD. This is like not the end of the world, but we do have that long right now. I feel like, look, AMD's positive today. It's outperforming the market. So if we do get a little bit of a bump back up here, AMD should be the winner that we think it's going to be. If we can get something out around 80 or even around this 50 mark, man, we'll do that. And just to take a piece off in case we're wrong. I mean, that's possible. SoFi, same thing with Neil, man. We're waiting for the 60 level. Ford is getting close to a reload area down here at that 1730. That's an area that we want to look for, especially on a move back down. And then another name, I mean, there's been a few names that we haven't really looked at today. Tesla and NIO, we're always looking at these names, but Tesla, again, like really that key level is going to be 800. We've seen that over and over again. So, hey, as the market comes back in, you could see Tesla fading in as well. That bottom yesterday was 850. So if you're looking for some love on Tesla, that could be a level. Do I think there's better opportunities maybe out there right now? SoFi is making a move back upside, as is PLTR. So we're long on Palantir, but I don't know. We'll take some 57s as it just breaks through it. But right now we're long Palantir 54s. I have an offer now at 59. So here it comes up to 58. Hopefully we can get that as some of these trades are finally starting to move back into the money for us. So good trade here. I don't know if it is, but we're playing off 1150 for Palantir. So let's see if that one can run. AMD looked like it got going there a little bit. Yeah, it did. It got back to flat for us, 114.20 on AMD. But again, it's just going to rely on these futures. If they continue to crack low, there it goes. If they continue to go lower here on, you can't really see this. I got to fix that. I don't know what to do, but if this continues to go lower here on the futures, then obviously these big NASDAQ names that we have, and I'm throwing Palantir in there as well, will continue to go down. So let's watch out. Here goes AMD. We're using this bottom here as our area of indication. So that's what we're waiting for. We're going to average in around 1340, I believe, on this name. And then, hey, if the market goes great, we'll make a lot. If it goes down, we'll lose a lot. So AMD right now, a name that I like, and we'll see if we can defend it right now.
Yeah, hold on to your butts if you're watching CRM here, because it's about to make another breakdown. This was up at one point this morning. Like, it was, you know, actually up nicely because it closed at 209. I just double checked. Yeah, man, it was up at 219 in the pre-market. But 200 is coming in, the market falling. The good news is, I think when you get to 200, the futures will be at that support level. So that's sort of lining up almost perfectly. If that happens simultaneously, 200 on CRM, and you get 43 on the ES and 14,000 on the NASDAQ, I'll be all over it. I know some people are still looking at Mullen. I haven't traded today. I thought IMPP was the better small cap to go to on the break, just because it was energy related as well. So why not at least have that in your back pocket? That and Mullen got destroyed yesterday. It had tried to break out here. Look where this failure is. Exactly where it failed, right at the end of our show at 120. That's where I tried that ill-fated long that lasted about 5 minutes for a scalp trade, then losing on the second half. In same level, 120 resistance. It's at least holding $1. This time I'm going to try not to bungle the dollar break. I managed to actually be flat, shorting a buck when this thing went to 83, and I made nothing on it. I basically won, then lost, then won, then lost, and made nothing. But this time if it breaks a buck, I'm going to be trying to make that Mullen trade, trying to get in 99s, out some immediately like 95, 96, and then see if you can hold. This stock has some room to go if it's going to fail this breakout. Brendo?
Some of the smaller EV names catching a bid today. Here's XL Fleet, up 10%, back above $2. The entire smaller group of EV makers getting a nice run up today. Arrival, that UK-based Arrival, another one, guys, very, very strong, even with the market coming back.
All right, we are taking, as at AMD, I was making sure I'm still on the right screen here. We are taking some pressure out of this AMD right now as it just made a nice move back up. We took something out there at 60, but that was literally, let me see the percentage. Yeah, that was 10% out at 60. We are trying to get another piece out there at 65 if we can. There it goes. Or no, I thought we did. Did we? Yeah, we did. We took it another 20%. So just trying to save our bacon right now, to be honest with you, as the market's trying to make its way back up to the upside. No more outs now. I don't even have any offers now on AMD. Hopefully this market can go and we can get like a 114.50 or something back in for AMD. Like I can't, you know, what was our average price again? It was It was 113.90 or something off of that last fill. So now we're back upside here on this name. Look at this, man. $5 right now in the money for this. We go timber right now down to 55 for Rivian. We have the short still at 60. So all is good on this side of things. There goes AMD back down. That was just at 114. Let's put an offer near 114. Got to take some money out of this.
Yeah, DWAC is still trying to go here. So it does bounce off 98. That little market flush got me away from buying this dip, and that kind of sucks, obviously. It still has a chance to break back that 102. I think there's room for this to go. Like we showed that 110 area, so I still like the long. I mean, it's got the only thing here that's breaking highs that I can see that. I mean, actually, I don't see anything else that's breaking high, so it's pretty much DWAC at this point. So the 98 VWAP, that's your level. 102 for a scalp break because there's still room to go here. Might be a bit of a scalp at 105 as well, just because that's a key psychological level. And then if we were talking about oil pulling back there. And I'm glad I didn't take that Oxy like right in the last second when Oxy came into my dip level. I was like, no, that violates my rules by once it did that fail break at the high. Chevron does the exact same thing it did yesterday. Big parabolic move up, and then it starts to fade. Instead of 150, it was 155. I didn't put that trade on. I'm regretting it. It then broke the 155 and has come right back down to reestablish that level. The only reason, again, this is a setup that I'd normally be short, but this has to be tight stop and quick profit if you're going to take it, because 10 minutes until you get oil inventories, right? And you don't want to be caught in a technical trade in front of an economic number. Like, it's no good. The levers aren't going to matter at that point. So if I take this on, I might be in and out of it in very, very quickly here with a tight stop. I like the setup off this 155, but I don't need to be holding this for more than 10 minutes. That could lead to trouble.
Yes. Okay, so now we're rocking here. We're back into the green situation right now for AMD. And sometimes it's like, mamma mia, you just got averaging, but it's a very dangerous and a slippery slope when you do that. And it could still be a loser. So we'll just wait to see. But we just took another piece out at 114. Like we said, it was 113.90 that we just took another piece out there. So now we're back into the positive area here for AMD. So that's another name to look at here. Come on, man. I'm waiting at 114.20, I believe now. Yeah. So if we can get an upside move to 114.20, that's my next offer for AMD. Okay, so that's that. Check back in. I mean, there's not much happening on SoFi. We did take an out there on SoFi, back up when it broke again through 12 there for some reason. We got an 11.97 and a 98, so it's right there again on this play. XOM up to $81 and moving around. Got it, yep. And then Apple, Nordstrom's as well, to $32.40 right now. Some of those.
Sorry, what?
Nordstrom's, sorry. It's up 32.4%. It's up 32.4%. Let's go to WJ. Wow.
I almost,
yeah.
like, almost
good recap there, Sean.
I almost crapped myself, man. Like.
Yeah. No, don't worry about that. But here it is. There it is. Up 32.4% right now, and still hanging out up here. So that's kind of a surprise. I did think this would fade back in. We did talk about getting longer at 23 if that came through, but so far nothing on that. Come on, futures. You can do a good job of ripping up here. It is small cap recap time. And I'm not sure if we've traded this one yet, but Brendan's going to review it. So here we go. Brendan at the big screen.
Guys, a bit smaller or a bit quieter day for small cap stocks once again, unless you're looking at IMPP. There was INDO as well. Again, related to oil, very small float. So if you're going to trade those, heads up on oil markets. CTIC had a big move yesterday, if you remember, on positive news, was just using the 320 level. If you go back to intraday yesterday, 320 at the top of the range, gave you a nice fade back to 285. Still have most of that. We'll see if we can get through that support level from yesterday. If not, going to need some volume, but if not, might be a good spot anyways. PaySafe waited for the breakdown, was very strong out of the gate, tested new highs, waited for the breakdown, and then that gave you a move back to 315, 310, which was pre-market support. And MULN, I don't really know what to do with this anymore. There is, as I mentioned, 140, and then 160, and then $1. It's stuck in a range right now. Tons of volume, but not really doing much. Guys, back over to you.
I know what to do with it. Wait for $1, short $1 when it goes, and don't screw it up. Like, I'm saying that to myself because, like, I love dollar breaks. I used to trade pesos. When I started trading as a day trader, like, I tried doing the momentum thing and I had some success, but I had not enough growth there. And it was pointed out to me based on my style that maybe I would do well trading some sub-dollar names and some small cap names, which immediately I took to. So I really started out with a lot of penny stock trading. And those runs to $1, the breaks and the retest, were like gold mines usually when they got to that price. It'd be action in either direction and you wanted to take advantage. I think that's still true. So mulling at that price looks interesting to me. I did, with only 8 minutes to go until we get old inventories, I just took the first half of the scalp trade and I said, playing off that 155, it's not going to be a home run type of deal here. It's a tight stop, no giving it to the high of the day to try to get a $2 or $3 pullback. This is in and out, bingo, bango, you know what, bongo. Because in 7 minutes, none of these levels are going to matter. If it wants to blow it out, who cares? It can take this level and the high on the inventory number, or you can be sitting on the bid, get ticked out, and then it goes another $3. Like who knows? We're expecting that big drawdown, as Brendan mentioned, but I want to be out of this trade no matter what. Winner or loser, even if it's bigger than what I could have taken, I still want to get out of this trade. This could drop $3 after I get out of it, but I'm taking the structured trade here. And Citigroup, I keep trying to hold through that low break. It got through 56, went to 55.93, so barely broke 56 even, and is now coming back into the upside. So hopefully it's not a failed break, but it's the move on the daily chart that I care about here. It's that multi, if you're just tuning in the first time, we mentioned this yesterday, and again with the banks being weak, this is all the way back in 2021, 57 and change, 57 and a half, and then yesterday, 57 and a half with that same bottom. It got taken out this morning. I was waiting for that break. Thankfully, I missed it in the pre-market, and it came right back up at the open to give me 2 shots at it. So I got a little bit fortunate that the market gave me a second chance here, but that was the level we were waiting for a couple of days, and we finally got it.
Nice move in the futures. Yeah, there we go. Look at this bid that we have on AMD, man. 113.30. AMD up to 114.30 right now. We just took a piece off. I was actually waiting at 50. This is the truth, and we didn't get filled. It goes up to 50. We'll see if it goes back up there again right now as the futures making a nice move. I mean, what's going to happen to AMD if the futures ever come back up here? We're bouncing again at 14,000. It does test lower. I mean, that run to 14,000 was nasty because it took it out and kept on going down. So let's see right now. I think Neil's onto something here with the oil inventories report obviously coming out. So this is going to be a little bit of a danger spot. I'm going to take another piece out on AMD if we can here, up near 114.10 again. And let's just see if we get filled on it first. Hopefully it comes to the upside. We're actually we're at 11 right now. What's the difference? Let's just offer out and get a piece out right now at 5 if we can. See, this is the problem. Like, I keep offering instead of hitting limit keys or market keys. So silly. But look at Rivian right now, guys. Wow. And I just said to Brandon over there, one of the new traders that we have, what about that 60 call? Because I told these guys in the pre-market about that trade. Oh, yeah, by the way, right now, this name, we still have it on board, $6 now in the money and still moving to the downside. Here goes Rivian. So, yeah, see you later, alligator, on that one. Palantir. Okay, so we got saved, man, on this one. It came all the way up, and we were just able to get these out, like in the 59s, in the 60s, and there it goes, dropping back down below 40 again. So I thought we got out of Palantir there, did we not? We should have put an order out to get out. But right now, Palantir to the downside, and yeah, there's really no love for this name today. It just keeps on getting smoked every single time it tries to go back up. So good thing that we took out something there on Palantir, and there it is. Actually, we got out at 48 on the move down. So not great there for that move. It'll be net flat, but we should took it all out there at 60, and that was a silly move for me here also on AMD. But hey, we're going to reload this thing anyways. So let's get ready to put some more down here at 1140 for AMD. Oh man, that really sucks about that Palantir. I bet you this thing gets back up, but we can't look at this now until that least breaks this 50 period. It's just to the downside too much today for PLTR, so let's leave that one alone there. We're not going to attend to it until it breaks back above 1170. So see ya for Palantir. Yeah,
I'm going to show you CRM. It has not broken 200, so when you see this chart, there was some weird dark pool print down at 199.13. The actual low currently is 201.13. I was on the bid anyways, like it didn't go down there. So I'm looking in front of that 200 level. You're going to get that bounce. I have to, there's now 4 minutes to go, so on Chevron, I might just have to cover this essentially flat at this point because I don't want to still be in the trade, like I said, when 1030 hits. So I'll give it one more shot to sort of roll over at this price and give me the scalp win. Otherwise, if it breaks 155, I'm out, or I'll take it out where it lies in a couple of minutes because I just want to be out in front of the number. What ends up happening is not just on the oil futures, but even on some of these equity names, like the spread opens up, liquidity is gonna die down a little bit. So you want to make sure you're covering sometimes a little bit out in front of the number, which I'm going to go ahead and do here. Like, why even wait for it? Like, I don't want to be in this trade. It's not like I'm taking a hit here, but I just don't want the exposure when we're going to get that number coming through. I want that CRM when it gives me the shot at it. And we'll see what happens. We didn't talk at all about Workhorse or some of these other, I guess, alternate names. I know Ride is moving as well. Well, now it doesn't want to load up because I typed in NY. That's not doing anything. It's been a Rivian story here, and I know Lordstown was moving previously. It is under pressure. That 250 level from yesterday, why is that still Workhorse, got taken out just recently, so it is sliding to the downside. But the real one is Rivian on the price, well, their price increase, which is just woodshedding them. And we talked Ford, but not GM. General Motors trying to make a bit of a bounce here. I think it was a sympathy play on GM, which makes it a bit of a fade, I would think. If it starts to get weak, it's back below VWAP, below that 45. If Ford has any weakness, I would feel like GM didn't have the news. They would be even more weak. But that's more along the lines of the ES retesting 43. The NASDAQ being down might not matter to these names as much. If the ES gets back to that 4,300 low, watch out for GM.
Yeah, we're going to reload AMD here one more time right here. So here it comes. We're trying to get the same price that we had before, 35s. So there it is. Oh, no, we didn't get filled, but we are bidding 30 euros. So now we're bidding 35, and we are in this name now. We just got, as you guys know, we got that 05 fill there before this tank happened. So now let's see what happens here for AMD. I mean, we're going to reload it, and we're just going to wait to play that game down near the bottom again. Okay. A nice little move back upside there. Can we get that? Bang! What was that all about? Let's go. Let's throw some hot dogs around. Hello. Right now with a nice little move back upside there for AMD. And yeah, your boy is happy about it because that was just like out of nowhere. We reloaded it and we put on we reloaded the big position there. So that was a good little move all the way back up to the upside. Let's take that 50 cents in about 10 seconds there. I don't know what that move was about, but you can see the futures start to go back upside there. So if it goes, man, oh yeah. AMD, my number one stock today. Well, that's not true, Rivian, but AMD just been absolutely obliterated today. Let's go back up to the upside now. There goes AMD here. Let's go, man. Wow. Okay, we'll offer 07s again. Okay, we got reloaded at the bottom there as Gregory is a happy guy back there. No Tangzi market today as the market goes back up to the upside. That's for you, Gregory. Here we go, 114. We are now $1 in the money on this AMD, and bang, we just put it on. So $1 in the money. Did we say $1 in the money? Let's try $1.20.
Guys, this move is on news. Powell said we will proceed carefully in light of Ukraine war. That means they're slowing down. That could mean running off the balance sheet's going to be slower. That will also mean maybe that the raising of rates will be slower paced. He's still also saying 25 basis points, which was already priced in, guys. Brendo?
Yeah, he's actually saying, guys, I don't think still appropriate. Again, I don't think it's still appropriate to raise interest rates by 25 basis points in March. So again, if you missed that, he said, I don't think it's appropriate to raise rates by 25 basis points in March.
All right. Yeah, so look at this, man. Bang! There it is, another one. $1.75 on AMD. Your boy is on one right now. Let's go to the upside. That's lucky, man. I mean, sometimes you take the right trades and you just hope for the best. And there it is right there off a nice move to the upside, obviously, for AMD. Now $1.80 in the money. Obviously, that Palantir can go to hell because there it goes right back up to the upside. This is what we were looking for, was this break. But honestly, I'm not going to take Palantir on this break right now. I feel like it just moved to the upside on this news. We already have AMD. We're already on one today. So let's just keep on watching this to the upside. SoFi does retrace back up, and we'll just wait for that. But so far, so good here, guys, with a nice market move. Let's go. $2 now with the money on AMD off of a beautiful reload. AMD all the way back up. Brendan, what's going on?
Okay, so crude oil, guys, down. So a drawdown. 2.5 million barrels was expected 6. Not much movement here as a result. So again, crude oil drawdown of 2.5 million barrels was expected 6, according to the API data that was out after market yesterday. Crude actually starting to tick back higher. While we have a second, it's 10:30. That means there's an hour left in the session over in Europe. Miss B's watching what's going on over there. What's up?
Hey, Brandon, European markets are negative for the third straight session as oil prices are rising. Miners are also higher as metals prices rose, and automakers are among worst performers with Volkswagen down around 3%. Back to you.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a drawdown. It comes out a drawdown, guys, but not as big as expected.
Brad just said in the chat, man, those oysters. I hope that's a good thing because, oh, never mind. Yeah, apparently, Brad, man, I don't think that was the oysters, bro. But anyways, we did enjoy some oysters. Powell with the, I don't know, the Fed put, but that's a big pivot, and I guess that's what the Bulls are going to want to see here. CRM, he's like, they did not, I'm not even going to read that. Like, I don't know. He's basically saying that he's having some trouble after eating oysters.
Stomach
that's
issues
not a
with
problem,
oysters,
man.
maybe.
You could have stomach issues. I've never had an issue eating oysters personally. I think
Bro, we all ate the same oysters.
Well, we ate more than just oysters.
Are you fine?
Yeah, I'm fine,
fine.
bro.
Brendan, you fine?
Brendan's fine.
Totally.
Yeah, Brendan's totally fine. So
Not the oysters.
weak stomach, Brad.
Yeah, I think.
But no,
I wasn't gonna say it, but look, man, Brad, it's not the oysters. But we had a good time. We'll talk more about the game. But Powell with a bit of a put there. That's what you're gonna see. Like any kind of a move for them slowing down is gonna rally the market temporarily. By the end of the year, I think they get to where they get to. But that was the fear that, well, not the fear, but that the hope that the conflict would cause them to slow things back a little bit. CRM just ran away. So I was waiting for that 200 level. It gets to 201. Like you couldn't wait for it to get to me to make that kind of a bounce. But I'll go long in front of this again, especially in light of what's happening here, and maybe a little more aggressively. So I'm looking at 202 instead of 250 cents for long. I'm going to go look at 202 and just get more out in front of that level here. You're going to be gonzo a lot of these other names like Softy, catching those bids, or Apple along those lines, or some of the chip names. But CRM's weak, so I think there's going to be an opportunity to be able to still pick it up.
Yeah, we were able to get out 115.20 there. So now we have 20% left of AMD. I mean, we're going to accelerate that out at 115.40, 115.20 right there, as now it's pulling back in. And remember we said Palantir, no way going long. Should have gone short off that. That was so stupid of me not to go short there. That was ridiculous, bless you. We were able to get some out at 12 on SoFi on that bump. I mean, all we're doing is like getting rid of our toxic assets on that move to the upside. And then no offense to anybody in Virginia, I'm not like a big ham fan. Here's today's lunch: smoked Virginia ham. I'm not even sure what that is. I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like those big chunks of ham. Nah. We'll see how it comes though.
You know the problem? We don't have good mustard. That's the problem.
Probably. I only get the salad every day, but there could be some ham on top. Roasted mini potatoes, I'm down with that. Steamed broccoli, down with that, and cauliflower. Oh, here it is. With Dijonnaise, it says.
That's good. So with
maybe,
good,
maybe there's a potential.
But like, there's only like 3 vegetables I don't like.
What?
And 2 of them are broccoli.
You don't like broccoli or cauliflower?
Broccoli, cauliflower, and no, I'm blanking.
I love those.
What am I forgetting about here?
Brussels sprouts?
It's Brussels sprouts.
I don't like Brussels sprouts. Down with Brussels sprouts.
I'll eat kale like raw, like who cares? And I know people are like, that's weird. I love kale. Like,
I know. Kale's good. Especially if you bake it.
No, man, raw.
Oh yeah, you said raw, but I like bacon with a little bit of. I actually don't even like it, but you put a little bit of salt on there.
You put bacon on
it. There, and it. You could not bacon.
Oh.
Bake.
Oh, bacon.
Be crispy.
I'm like,
bacon.
Sprinkle,
bacon and kale.
Sprinkle some bacon on it.
As long as it's 90% bacon, 10% kale. What's up, Brendo?
Just reading some more comments here from Fed Chair Powell. One of the issues you get when you rely on an automated system to spit you out comments is that they miss words sometimes. So here's the latest one. But if inflation persists, we would be willing to move more forcefully with a 50 basis point increase at a meeting or meetings in the future. This is the CME interest rate tool. So I mentioned before, he was saying they don't see it appropriate. It was actually due. So the computer catching the wrong word there, but 90.5 now on a quarter point in March, guys. This got as high as 98% yesterday. So it did tick down on these comments a little bit there for what's going to come up next week, or 2 weeks, I guess. The 15th is the Fed meeting.
And the crazy thing about it with the rates is I'm not even sure that's the most important thing. Like rates have to go up, so we understand that. But it is how far and how fast they trim the balance sheet, and when do they start doing that, man? Like that's the bigger, like that's the one thing. Like let's talk about that, and they're not going to until we actually start. Oh, sorry, until they actually start raising rates. So of course, look, let's be real. obviously that Citigroup short's going to come right back to that 57.50 level. We're looking for that home run, and we're sailing. And then obviously the market sentiment is going to have turned here, and of course Powell talking, so it broke through VWAP. It looked like it was about to roll back over at VWAP, where you would have been thinking maybe a reload. That's out the window. If it takes out that 57.5, you just got to understand it's a reversal and get out of it. So I'm going to tighten up. So I was willing to give it some room to those pre-market levels at 58 and just hold on to it all day long. But I don't think I can look at that testimony and say that's a prudent thing to do. So I'm going to tighten up the stop over here on Citigroup. I don't want to be losing on this trade and getting stubborn. I want to come back to CRM. I still think there's a chance, because of its relative weakness, that I can catch that dip. So I'm going to be out in front of that 202, just adjusting some orders there. I want to see if it can fall back in. The current low is 201.13. That's why I'm picking 202, just to give it at least $1 in front of those lows. Has yet to reclaim that bottom, but of course the NASDAQ in potential of breaking out here. If we take 14.15 on the minis, then we're in breakout territory and CRM might be gonzo. They did have a pretty decent report despite being down.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, they were up 4 or 5%, as you know, and as everybody knows today. Yeah, I wish that was a good stock. I've bought into CRM on this move down, not today, but on the move down in general. Enbridge, 52-week highs as well right now. Let's check out XLE on that news for the oil patch today on the obviously. I think it was, what, an extension there? WTI higher. Okay, yeah, 5.2% right now for WTI. And here we go on XLE, still up that 2%, so that is a good one. We missed the Microsoft. I mean, right now we're into AMD, so it's no problem. We like AMD. But Microsoft, we missed that one. We should have had that 295 bottom there. And yeah, yesterday we were taking this bottom. Today we miss it, but there's a nice explosion to the upside. As right now, man, we're back into the money, $1.90 now on AMD. So at least we have something to the long side as it's starting to blow up. As you can see, Microsoft just keeps on tick. I don't know why we keep getting these stupid wicks on Microsoft, honestly. But
not just software.
Yeah, it's because I look at it every day, I guess. But yeah, it's not just software.
No, it's not. Like I thought CRM had them today as well.
Okay, so let's check out Apple quickly on this move as well, back up to 165. What a gift that was down there at 150. That was the stock that I was like, Brad, man, anytime this thing goes back down, you got to buy this. I don't think we did, but AMD was a good buy. And you could see Apple right now taking out the day's high, so that's pretty sweet. If we can get it back long into 164, we do like that. Let's just check out our sticky note again for some more ideas. AMC, SoFi, Ford, Rivian. Oh,
I just got into SoFi.
Sorry, I forgot to tell everybody that we got out of Rivian. So I forgot to say that.
Well, the Powell thing spiked everything, right? Like,
yeah, and I actually just manually got out of this trade. So as it was ripping up here, it was 54.50 was there, and I was like, I'm going to take it out, and I felt kind of bad as it came back down there, but we did close out our Rivian trade right there. So far so good, obviously, on that one. As Rivian, my number one stock is going to be AMD, but Rivian is not far behind with that move to the downside. So good move there. Let's go back over to Brenda with an update.
A couple more things to mention here, guys. Powell now saying the Fed needs to be nimble in light of the war with Ukraine and Russia, obviously. On the oil front, if we could show that quickly, Tim, thanks. The reserves, strategic petroleum reserves, falling to the lowest level since August of 2002. Down here, the Cushing, Oklahoma inventory levels falling to the lowest level since September of 2018 as they pull some of those out and put them onto the market. Wanted to mention Pfizer real quick here as well. RSV vaccine getting FDA breakthrough tag today. So Pfizer with a nice day, up 2.7.
Oh, I was going to talk something about the pharmaceuticals, but SoFi, look, I don't know if it's going to get to that 30 level. The top end of the channel was the 60s, at 60 to 65, and it's been holding above that at 70. You throw in the fact that Powell is going to give a green light temporarily to growth here, at least it seems like. So that consolidation, I finally get into it. We took the stop out, the tight stop here in front of that 50 area this morning on the pre-market lows, and then now we're waiting for a consolidation. We finally get it, so I'm into that long. Citigroup might stop out. It'll still be a good one, but there's nothing you can do about it temporarily moving things. Part of the speech, and I didn't watch, we were at the game, and it was a fun game on the way home. I was sort of more interested in reading other news than actually watching the State of the Union. But it was mentioned, this big push to eliminate cancer and reduce that. So more screening, more aggressive investment in drugs and treatments. That's good for the names that make a bunch of money off that right now temporarily, like Bristol Myers and Pfizer. But then start thinking about any company that all they have is cancer treatment, let's just say, and they're a little bit smaller. I'm trying to think of some names here. I'm going to try and find some. But that means if you do this push and people are screening more aggressively and you're sort of beating it down, then in 10 to 15 years, those companies are screwed if all they have is treatments on certain types of cancer. So I'm going to be on the lookout for that. I think in the short term, that's going to be good for your BMYs and Pfizer. And I'm missing a couple of names there. But that was one note that I did take away from that. I talked about Lordstown. You already mentioned Rivian there. I want to go to some beat-up names here, and apologies for looking at this in Toronto, but I don't have Shop up in New York for some reason. But Shopify, which had been, come on, 15 minutes, there we go, had been getting crushed recently. It got off the schneid at $800 in the Canadian prices, by the way, because that's the chart I have up here. It touched down close to that and is now getting a nice bottom. I think that's good temporary support if I'm watching it in the New York, which I'll flip to right now. The equivalent prices on Shop, if it'll even do this is why I didn't want to load it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so the equivalent prices in the New York is going to be down around that 600 level. It has broken a couple of times, but Shopify looking to catch a bid. Look for those depressed names that have been under trouble, and if they retest these support levels, they can look awfully good. SoFi just bounced. I'm going to go take some profit while we go to Brendan for Sector Watch.
Hey guys, basically the exact opposite on this board today of what we saw yesterday. You can see nicely positive here right across the board. 1.12 right now for the S&P in the technology group here. First off, that EPAM, remember, was down about 80% to start the week. 2 days in a row back to the upside, 11% today. There's CRM, 2.4% now negative. PayPal being dragged along with it, 2.6 to the downside. Otherwise, pretty positive day here for the tech group, HPQ. Positive earnings back to the upside. End phase there in SEDG in the semi group, offsetting the rest, which are nicely positive. But tech stocks holding on to a slight gain. Wanted to mention some of the travel names here because Booking.com, that was another one with a positive note from analysts this morning, up 4%. LVS and Win, though, 10% for LVS, 7.8% for Win. They've had a rough week, so bouncing back. Etsy's lowered. DLTR reported. Amazon as well lower in the retail group. The rest, though, nicely positive on the day. That's the energy group, so not much to see there. There are some positive names, but nowhere near what we saw yesterday in that group. Banks are very strong. Industrials bouncing back as well. Remember, all week long we've had very, very weak banks in the banking sector, so a bit of a bounce back day for the individual banks here. Outside of Citigroup, down 2%. The rest nicely higher, guys. More than a full percent right now for the S&P. Back over to you.
Yeah, there's a reason we're short Citigroup in particular. I see someone in the chat, and I don't know why it got hidden. I'll show that one thing. They shorted ERUS. That's the MSCI Russia ETF. The one I've been talking about is the RSX. That's the VANIC, I think, ETF. But look, this thing has been volatility halting all over the place. Like if you're trading, we've been saying it over and over again, if you're trading a Russian ETF or equity that somehow isn't halted, then understand these are moving around a ton. This is halted multiple times, so this is just par for the course. Like volatility hearts are coming fast and furious. So if you're going to be trading them, have access to market on open orders so you can play the auctions if you have to, and if you don't, then it can get a little bit tricky. But these are just volatility halts. It has been opening up routinely here last I checked, and you can always double check. You can always sort of double check NASDAQ Trader, NASDAQ.com/trader. They have a trade halt page. So just to double check to make sure these are all volatility halts you're seeing on ERUS. How many times is this thing halted? This is just going to happen over and over again, and I can't see any reason why it would stop. Ms. V?
Hey guys, we've got a super chat from Bradley Taylor saying, thank you so much, guys. Great day so far. Rivian, great call, Sean. Thank you so much, Bradley. Glad you're having a great day. And guys, if you're also finding our show helpful, you know what to do. Please smash the like button. We need just 200 more likes to get 2,000. Back to you.
No,
Bradley,
thank you for watching. Yeah, no, look, I mean, Rivian's my #1 stock today, and it was just an easy one for me. And again, it's because we also did have it, obviously, on our sticky notes. So thank you, Bradley. I mean, even that $5, I should put on tipping or something here, because it might be easier to do it on Twitter. But here it is right here, Rivian. Increased prices, huh? Huge mistake for optics, I felt like. And then Musk also came out. We're shorting 60. I mean, it's right here. We talked about it right up here. And there it is, the sticky note. Let's put this in the chat for everybody. You can follow me at Trader TV Sean. Oops, I don't think that link worked. I have a little thing at the end. As we approach, guys, right now, we approaching 30,000. So join the club, man. 30,000 people following. So I like to get that number to 30,000, only 500 away from that. So again, thank you guys for everything and all the love that keeps getting shown to us here on the show. And thank you, Bradley, for the super chat. But
I didn't realize you said Dijonnaise, by the way. I just heard Dijon. Dijonnaise is also mixed with mayonnaise.
Mixed with mayonnaise. Yeah, I know.
I'm not a mayonnaise fan. I just read it myself, and I was
yeah.
"You tricked me, man. That's like a bait and switch."
I don't think I think I did say Dijonnaise.
Yeah, I just didn't hear. You know what? That's on me. I didn't
because
hear
we were talking about mustard. That's why. Okay, but I was just going to say before Neil got a little upset there about the Dijonnaise, and probably rightfully so, is right here. We got out of 10. We only had 20% left, so we got out of 10% more here. As we noticed, obviously struggling AMD was to get higher than this. So into this area again, we got out for that $1.80 or whatever it was there on AMD. Sorry, did I say $1.80? $1.95 on AMD. So we took that out. And now we'll wait. We have 10% left. We may or may not reload it down here. AMD is no, it's not anymore. It was my number one stock net-wise when we were up here, but right now that'll be taken out by Rivian. Like I said, the top two stocks here today, Rivian and Microsoft. No, sorry, Microsoft, AMD for me today. Microsoft, we have no trades. This was a mistake. I thought I put 292.50, but I actually put 295.50, which should have held that, but it did go down to 293 here. We're still waiting for 292. And then Neil said it just as I think we're going to Brendan there, and he said, oh, getting out of SoFi on a bump up, and same thing for me. It came right up to the 50 period, and we got out. Like, all I'm doing is licking wounds on SoFi. This is a red stock, 2 red stocks today for me, and it's going to be Palantir, and it's going to be SoFi. And again, like, I don't have a problem discussing the red names with you because, hey, it does happen, right? And there's Palantir today down to the downside. I'm not buying any more of this stock. The stock is broken. I mean, I don't want people to say, like, and I said this about Henry yesterday, was like, oh, his number one holding or something was Palantir. And for me, I told you yesterday, I think it was 7 or 8 times more invested I am in the big cap tech names like a Microsoft, Apple, Google, things like that. But hey, I have been talking about Palantir. I like it, but a lot of these names just keep getting killed. Like T-Doc's back down to 71 off of that Amazon bump that got it to 81. So, I mean, there's a lot of names not working right now. Palantir just is one of those. Fisker's been a nice long off of $10. We're up to $12 on that one right now for Fisker. So that's been a good move. But today, again, down more for Fisker. It got up to $14, $15 and then faded right back in. So here's the 10 that we're talking about. We recently bought some Fisker at 10, talked about that. I think it was like 10.50, 10.80. And we're just loading up on this one. I think Fisker, the EV names I'm in, Fisker, GM, Ford,
Tesla.
There's one more, Tesla. That's it. Yeah, that's the only ones I'm in.
I mean, that's the first one. Like, if
might get into Rivian at some point.
I mean, the thing about, like, I get it, Tesla's expensive, but if in terms of the actual company that you think is going to be the leader, if you're ignoring Tesla,
you actually said it yesterday, though, and to me, I think it was privately, or maybe it was on the show, is that some of the investments, the heaviest ones you'll be in, were the ones that maybe you started early. So I was just lucky to buy Tesla in
like when you start, right?
Like April of 2020. Like, my Tesla position is 850% in the money, and it's just because of that move. So sometimes it's about timing on your.
The context we were talking about Pratt, and it's like, what's going to end up in 20 years? Because he's just starting. He's just starting to invest. It's like, what's going to be his biggest thing? I'm like, it's probably not going to be like the big cap. Like, who remembers the 4 horsemen? Only Microsoft left of those 4. Good luck if any of you guys can name the 4 horsemen. I'm telling you how old I am, but you have no idea what I'm talking about, but look it up. And again, like, maybe it's going to be like he's investing in Roblox. I don't know. If you put equal into Roblox or one of those growth names and then some of the big cap, maybe one of those breaks out for you. And then 20 years down the line, it's that. Because when you start, that's what it's all about. Nordstrom's is super strong here. So I made top wick earlier. If it breaks the high right now, at least I'll be able to say that I didn't short it and get stopped at the absolute top and what would have been a winner. But at this point, if it takes that double top with the short interest, I'm going to go for the breakout here. I thought DWAC would take 102. It still hasn't done that. Nordstrom's is trying to make a run at this 26.50. It broke 50s, got to 51. I got out at 51. Now I'm actually looking to take the breakout long. That's a nice rejection, big V-shaped rebound. So looking for the momentum to the upside here. I thought it would be DWAC 102. Looks like Nordstrom 26.50 is going to be coming.
Okay, Ford. I missed this one. We should have gone long Ford already. So let's put a Ford trade on right now if we can here. Let's put it on. We might have to break. Okay, I was going to say we might have to break that to the upside, but it just. Oops, I have the one. Where's my 1 minute chart so you guys can see the fill? We just got it right there at the 50 period. But what did we get that fill at? Was that 53 or 54? 53. Okay, so we got some 53s there. Maybe this is going to be the bottom here for Ford, so let's just play this. I don't know. I want to go over to a name that was strong. Like, I almost punched the Palantir long again, and then I was thinking to myself, like, why bother to do that when it's been down and getting hit here today? So we'll do a small tester of Ford right now at the 50 period, and then understanding that we are not going to hold this through this 1740. So we'll put on one more trade down here, 17, like 43, 44, something like that. But again, like, this is the problem. You'd rather take Ford on the way up when momentum is with you. Right now, momentum is to the downside here. So let's just wait to see what happens down here at 1140 or 1740. I'm going to put on a pretty light position here, because if we can get back up to like 70 or 80 for Ford, then I think that's fantastic. So let's watch out for this 1745 or so on the next reload, and then that's it. We'll take a small hit here if it goes back down. I'm not willing to lose my day looking at a Ford trade at this level when it's kind of barcoding. So we'll put another trade on here for Ford, but again, it's not going to be a big one. We're not going to lose the day on this trade. 1745 is going to be the reload, and then watch, or maybe let's get a little lower. Let's go 43, and then we'll watch out for a 40 break. If it breaks, we're gone, and then we'll look at this a little bit lower.
And so congratulations. I saw a couple people got it right. James and Anthony both saying correct. Microsoft, Intel, Cisco, and Dell. Look, I'm talking way back, like 20 or some years ago, maybe even a little bit more than that. That was the four horsemen. And you look at FANG now, and so history would tell you that one or two of those names probably in 20 years will still be one of the biggest cap tech stocks in there. If I had to pick one that's obvious of FANG that won't be, because the odds are one of them won't, it kind of feels right now like it's going to be Facebook, because they're making the biggest gamble with the metaverse. If it fails, they're obviously out, and their market cap's already pulling in. If they hit on it, fair enough. But they're the one that kind of feels like maybe they'll get left out. Brendo?
A few more cautious comments, guys, coming through from Powell now on inflation, saying the Fed's humble about the fact they can't call with confidence a turn in inflation, which is to be expected. They're also hoping for relief on that number as well. So a little bit of a downtick there. We're still up 1%, though.
Neil just said that someone thought we were talking about wrestling. So I just, said, I didn't look at the chat. Arn Anderson, Ric Flair.
I don't remember
Dean Malenko.
Yeah, okay.
I don't remember who the other one was.
I'd have to look it up. I would have gotten Ric Flair,
like Harley
obviously,
Race or something. Okay.
I'll have to look it up, because I actually don't remember all four of the four horsemen. But
so we do trade. So holistic strength right there. What's up, holistic strength? Good way to get your strength for sure. Yeah, we do look at the European close, but unfortunately it's 11:30. So you're gonna have to, unless the time changed. I don't think that changed yet.
No, not till the clocks move.
It's soon though. I'm pretty sure. And anyways, I don't know.
Oh, it's March.
But yeah, that's it. Woo there for Ric Flair. Tully Blanchard. Okay, that's who it was. So yeah, I said Harley Grace there. So good job there. But Andy Anderson's, yeah, exactly. So we really, really love our wrestling. Shout out to WCW back in the day. WCW, Razor Ramon. Okay, Brendan over there. Hey, it's Money Talks. I didn't even realize it's 10:55.
Oh my God. Okay.
We're a little late on this one, but what's up, Brendan, over there at the big screen with Money Talks?
Watching the U.S. dollar, guys. Here we go. Back to recent highs. That's a daily chart for the DXY. So we got above 97.75, which was that last top, up 0.4 now, as Powell continuing to testify as we speak here in front of Congress. That has the euro down 0.5%. Yeah, they raised interest rates in Canada today, 0.25%. So the Canadian dollar is strong on that, 0.4, 78.75. British pound was actually up about 0.25% down to the downside, but everything else back and forth a little bit on this board today, including cryptos now positive for Bitcoin once again, back to 44,000, guys.
Pay.
Yes, sir. And like someone said, like, why would you say Facebook would be the one out and not Netflix? You're right. But in my mind, Netflix is sort of already not included with that. I know they're still part of FANG, but I wouldn't put them in that bucket. I don't know if people still consider them in that bucket of the best the biggest and best tech. I think they just got lumped into FANG. They've been left there. I don't think they belong anymore.
It's a market cap thing.
Yeah, it's a market cap thing. To me, Netflix is already out. Nordstrom's just broke that 26.50, so I am now long. And I thought this breakout would be going to DWAC, but I'll show you what that just did. And it's not breakout, by the way. So it didn't break that 102. I guess that was a key level, and I suppose I should have shorted it. Falling like an absolute rock. This is a 15 minutes. It's not my 1 minute. It's a 15-minute chart here. So it just dropped in 3 minutes, down $5 on DWAC. So that's going the other way, while Nordstrom's does make the clean break. So they were both consolidating. But when you're taking a breakout, guess what? The level has to go or you don't have it. So Nordstrom's starting to go. I'll take some money in front of 27. 27 was the aftermarket top. Hopefully I can show that to you very quickly because we're running out of time. This is the aftermarket top, so scalp some to 27. Try to let it ride. They have the decent short interest and, of course, the positive report. It tried to go down. Now up 37% almost, so big run for Nordstrom's. Was that Brendan or Miss V?
It was. We just went long
Brendan?
forward as well, guys. Brendan.
One of those, yeah. Let's do earnings, guys, real quick. There's still a few interesting names on this board to come. Here's what's up after market tonight and before the open tomorrow.
Ooh, we've been talking about Best Buy for a bit. We'll have to look at that. There's your TD Bank. The Canadian banks have been reporting this week. I haven't even looked at
Snowflake.
Yeah, Snowflake, baby Palantir, although it looks like they're killing Palantir, so I called it that. I'm in Snowflake as well. That's been a great trade. I think it was 240 was the last long. We'll look back at that. I don't even see Snowflake on there. Where is it? Oh, yeah, there in the left.
There.
And then that's about it, man. I mean, Coupang, I hate that. I remember that IPO. I put it in an IPO trade.
That's
and then
why
we were
I
in the
remember
meeting,
that.
and I come back, and Greg's like, bro, you're down $700 or whatever. I was like, oh, great. So that was Coupang. Yeah, we should have canceled it, and they didn't. That's about it, man. I don't know. I mean, Pure Storage is a name that people like, but
maybe ChargePoint, because some of those names, I'll have to double check, but some of those names have run this week. So ChargePoint could be one of them. I know Plug had that run a couple of days ago, so that could be interesting. Obviously, there's one, before we get out of here, there's one thing we have to do. We're going to be sending you guys to Trader Prad and Ms. V. Trader Prad, who had a great time last night. By the way, Prad's a lot of fun to go to a game with, man. He gets into it. You got to go to more Raptors games. If you had fun last night, wait till you get an actual team that has some stars. But we also
but it was such a good game.
It was a great game, but like,
I'd rather the Raptors win.
I know, but imagine, okay, first of all, if you had bet the OT 17-1 like we said, then you would have been more exciting for you, but you didn't. So anyways, he kept thinking he was going to go to overtime.
But then he would have lost.
It would have been more exciting for him.
It would have been more exciting, but he had a good time, right? So
we got to get to...
No, we don't have to get anything right now. Okay, so AMC, we did do a reload there, so I just want to get that out of the way. AMC reloaded here at 1760. It came all the way back down. We absolutely crushed this name, so there's the reload back in. We're going to use 1750. And then Ford, hells to the yes. Spin it on Ford right now. What a call that was, guys. We got 44s there long, and now we're starting to cash it out to the upside. Our next out on Ford is going to be 58. We'll wait for that, but it's Miss V. We don't want to keep her for too long.
Hey guys, I hope you're having a great day so far. Thank you so much for 2,000 likes. And I remind you, please make sure you're a subscriber of Trader TV Live. Join Prad and me right after to continue this trading day to find out how much did Prad liked oysters, and happy National Banana Cream Pie Day.
Oh, hell yeah. I love me some pie, and especially banana cream pie right there. So I'm a fan of that.
All pie is good.
Yeah, all pie is good.
There's
yeah,
no
definitely
bad pie.
get your pie when you can. Good, yeah, good one there. And all right, so yeah, we'll just leave it at that on the pie comments. But yeah, thank you so much for watching today. I mean, I think it's been a monster day. We only do have a minute left. Current positions, guys, AMC long. We just talked about that one, long at 60, just using 1750. Again, we'll hold this one. You know, if it goes, great. If not, AMC earnings is what it is. AMD, long down here, my number one stock of the day, AMD on these reloads. 2 times down here, beautiful. Start here, average in, use yesterday's bottom as the out. But no more averaging in. I'm done with AMD. We'll just keep this last 10%, see how far it goes up. And then Ford, man, this was a great one for me. Long today at 1730. Out. Reloaded the long now, looking for something strong. And there it is to the upside for Ford. So far, so good on that one. If the futures go, we like it. But I might take more out here as we're bouncing around 56. This is a 10 cent. Okay, here we go. Now to the upside. My next out's 58, and that's about it. And we're just letting the bleeding stop on SoFi, getting out every time it bumps up.
Yes, sir. It's been a fun morning. We have a lot to go. I mean, the second half of the day will be interesting with Powell jolting the market to the upside. Before we send you to Trader Pratt and Ms. V, Internet Enforcers, yes, Pratt's mom did let him stay the entire game. It was an exciting finish, so I'm glad he was allowed to stay out a little bit later than his bedtime. With that, on to Trader Pratt and Ms. B for Market Movers. See you guys.
Welcome to Market Movers. It is Wednesday, March 2nd.
Yep.
Yes, March 2nd, and it is time for the best show on the internet with the blonde and blondess.
Right. Legendary blondies are back, guys. How are you doing? Please, as usual, be active on the chat. Ask us anything. And don't forget to smash the like button. Okay, first.